Now, I am very likely just preaching to the choir here, but let's just say I'm a little bit, I'm never necessarily ahead of the curve on some of these little tools and tricks that a lot of you guys who are who are veterans in this whole points of miles game, use on a very, on an often basis. And, one of the things or two of the things that I've learned recently from a lot of you guys is two different tools that would have saved me not just a lot of time, but also a lot of money with a lot of different currencies that I would have maybe saved or would have been able to accumulate a way more of had I been using these two tools maybe for years and years and years as opposed to just the last couple of months or in some cases actually the last really just couple of days, couple of weeks. And so I wanted to actually just so this way I can always show anything that I've ever learned in this game, and I can hopefully share that with you guys as well, and maybe it could save you guys because if I never really use these things, I'm sure a lot of people are also like, it's too annoying, it's too weird, I don't want to even try it out. Let me help you as I learn things at the same time. So two of the things that I wanted to talk about today, one was Rakuten. Now people have been telling me for years. Now I understand. Like I said, this is like basic bare bones. But like I said, if I've waited this long, I'm sure there are other people as well. And I actually have spoken to some people on the side who were like, "Oh, I actually didn't even realize this was like as good as it is." So basically, Rakuten. Now for many years, people have told me on YouTube, literally 3 years now, said get on Rakuten. I finally got onto it, and from the help of Mr. What's Daniel Doing, we did a video, together not too long ago. And essentially, all it is just a site that you can buy things through. It's a plugin for your browser, or you can do it on the app and stuff like that. And it has access to all these different stores. So we have like Viator for tours, Best Buy for all those needs, Temu, Macy's, millions of things, like literally millions of places that you would normally shop. Even eBay, look at that 1x. And you can see these little things below. It says 10x, 5x, 12x. So essentially, if you have, well, normally if you just have this account and you have like no American Express credit cards and you're not in the points and miles game, well, you can earn cash back. So like if you're gonna buy some Viator tours somewhere, you can get 10% cash back for the money that you're gonna be spending anyway. It's still going through their site. There seems to be no upcharges whatsoever. You just use this as an extension, and I'm sure Rakuten gets paid on the back end, but at least you can save some cash on the front end. But for those of us who have, points and miles, we can actually earn membership award points. So I guess they have this partnership where if you have any credit cards that have that earn membership award points, so the Amex Green, Gold, and Platinum. If for anybody who knows that I've been going kind of crazy talking about my Amex traditional card, I had to recently because that card does not earn MR. You'll find this funny. I had to up it to the second tier of traditional green where you pay $40 and then it gives you access to the membership award points program. So I opted in, I paid the $40, and now I have access to points. So you can see right here 10x for tours, 5x for Best Buy, 12x for Temu, all these different things. So one of my mistakes I would say in this whole game is that I wasn't using this sooner. Now I don't know how long they were having this partnership with Amex. I know people have been telling me for years. I'm assuming at least 3 years. But all of this time, I'm somebody that when I land in a new place, or I drive to a new place, all these destinations, we always book a tour. My wife and I always book a tour, no matter what. We will go somewhere. It's the way to learn the area. I learn where the best restaurants are, where's the best breakfast spot, where's the interesting landmarks. Learn about the area, really immerse yourself. That's how we've done it over years. And I've always booked tours on like Airbnb experiences and some other places, never really Viator, but now I'm starting to look at Viator. Because if you just click into it, right, if you make an account, you can actually see here 3,000 points. It's because I used Daniel's referral. And if you spent like $30, you'll give you $30, but converted to points, that's 3,000 Amex points that they're going to be sending to me. And it seems like they do it every quarter. So like August 15th is the next time they're going to pay out. But if we click on Viator, which is what I've been going through, and I've actually been booking a lot of different tours recently. And for those of you who are just joining, I can't see the chat obviously, but for you guys, I know I'm preaching to the choir, but for anybody who's out there who's still on the fence about Rakuten, here it is. Anthony is always last to things, so let me help you out if you haven't. So this is Viator. This is how you can book a lot of different tours, and you can see that this popped up on the side, 10x points activated. So anything that you pay for on Viator. And it could be with any card as long as you just have your account kind of connected in this way, or you have like the plugin, or if you go through the app, you're going to be getting 10x back on all of that. So what are some things that I was looking at? Well, one, we have the big Italy trip coming up. Now I did book some tours for another location, but I don't want to talk about it too much. But we have this Italy trip coming up in September, around September. And there are a lot of different things on here. So just look, I mean, we're going to be staying in Lake Como. And I think that's what I put Lake Como here. So we're going to be staying in Lake Como for a few days. And I was like, wow, there's a ton of things here. Now, this is not about the crazy things itself. Like, look at this Lake Como and Bellagio trip. We're likely to opt into one of these things. But one thing that I thought was, super powerful, because I would be booking these things anyway. And if Daniel didn't really convince me to go on Rakuten, I wouldn't have been able to get the value from this. So I just want to share with you guys. But like, say we were going to do this one, and it's going to be $114 per person. And, say this is what we want to do. It's like $230. I think with taxes, it's a little bit more. And currently, right now, there's a Viator deal. I don't know when it's going to end. I have my suspicions. Actually, no, I don't have my suspicion, because I thought it was going to end maybe yesterday, but it didn't. But 10x back on over that. So that means essentially, just for buying this as you normally would anyway, you'll get an additional, or you'll get back over 2,000 American Express points, which you can then, and especially for those of you guys who have been killing it with Rakuten over the past like year, when we've had this whole tie-in, which we could actually go into a little bit later, where American Express is ending the whole being able to transfer to Hawaiian and Hawaiian to Alaska. It's ending June 30th, but we can talk about it a little bit after. But for those of you who've been, going hard with American Express, I mean, that's a lot of points. I know some people just got to pay out recently. If like, I saw some people like 100,000 points from Rakuten, 150,000, 200,000, all from just booking experiences like this through Viator, or just, like I said, all the normal spend here. I mean, look, like 8x Priceline. So you could buy like your hotels. I think hotels.com, and even Hilton Direct. I don't see it on here. Let me see. Let's see if we want to like pay cash for Hilton stay. Like, for example, if there's a really bad redemption, we're like, oh, I'm only getting 0.2 cents per point on my Hilton points. And actually, this is pretty interesting. I guess this is buying Hilton points, so you could actually get a multiplier on buying points. That's pretty cool. But say you wanted to, and I don't see it directly on here. I saw it on Capital One, but the idea is like, oh, Expedia, maybe I could pay through Expedia or pay for an IHG hotel. There's 10x back, 10x online, and I saw on the Capital One portal is also 10x for Hilton Hotels Direct. So if it's like a bad redemption, you're like, oh, 0.2, 0.3, 0.4 cents per point. I want to save my Hilton points for a better redemption in the future. What's stopping you from just paying cash, as you probably would anyway in those cases, and get 10x back for that, that whole stay? Maybe it's a $500 stay. That's an extra 5,000 Amex points that will be sent to you at the end of the quarter. So I'm just like, man, I really like, I feel so dumb that, that I slept on this for so long. And now, because, obviously, when you have a wife and everything, they shop for certain things. I now have to shop for things. I don't really want to, but she says I have to. And so, anything that you can imagine in life that you would want to buy things for. I think is this Adidas? Is that what the logo is? Skechers. A few Sketcher lovers. 6x back. And this is just a very small list. I was going through. I don't know if these are just like limited lists, but I was going through and I was like, wow, there's so many. It's not just these. It's like you type in anything. I think we were looking at like, she was looking at something at Abercrombie. I was like, all right, yeah, there it is, 2x back. I'm like, no matter where, you could actually find something. So it's like, I can't believe I waited so long. But most importantly, like the Viator tours. It's just, I understand Viator does have an upsell as opposed to like going direct with some of these sites, but I don't know, it makes it easier, and it makes it a little bit easier to swallow, especially if you're going to get that, that 10x back in Amex points. So I thought that was pretty cool. One thing that I actually also thought that was interesting for those of you guys who maybe don't have Amex points, I was just looking around. I was like, oh, do they have discount codes? This is before I fully integrated with Rakuten. And I was like, is there discount codes? And apparently you can find people on Reddit who are like travel agents. And you can, like, if you click their link, it'll auto put their name like right here, and they'll be your agent. And then they'll usually have a code associated. So they get a commission, so they benefit, but you benefit as well. I actually booked a few tours under this random travel agent. And it gave me 10% back. So I spent like, $400 recently on some tours, and we ended up saving, I think actually it might have been a little bit more, maybe a little bit more, but 40, 50, $60 here and there. For those savings, for those of you who don't have Amex points and can't earn back. So you can kind of, the only problem is, though, when you do that, is it's a point of sale. So like you'll save it, like charged to your card, it'll be less the 10% amount. And then, but that disallows the Rakuten extension essentially, because all the commissions that would go to Rakuten go to your travel agent. So you just have to decide, do I want a 10% discount or do I want a 10% rebate? I guess technically the 10% rebate would be better, since it's on a total price versus the discounted price. But I guess just this depends on you. But I just thought that was a little bit interesting if you're not somebody who's on that. So I want to get into the other thing afterwards, which is SEATS.AERO. But that was just the first thing. I just thought it was very. It's like I figured if I can't be alone. I can't be the last one to Rakuten. I can't be the last one. And Mike Newland, you were actually the one I was thinking about. He said Rakuten's fantastic. I had over 300,000 last year in points. I mean, that's ridiculous. I mean, what the hell? How do you even spend enough to get 300,000 in points for membership reward points? I mean, that's insane. So please, if you're on the fence, go for it. See what's on there. Have fun. Give it to your spouse or whatever. Sign into your account so you can get your Amex points back. Because it's just I slept on it I would have so many more. Like for the tour, the amount of tours that we've booked. I mean, I don't know. I would say at least like an extra 50,000 membership reward points, and that's a good amount. I wish I had Amex points right now that I could transfer to Hawaiian for Alaska. I'm thinking of all these little schemes. I'm like, how could I get more Amex points so I can get this done a little bit more efficiently? And it's just like impossible. Literally like impossible. So that was the first thing. Dennis, Anthony Venture made a mistake. I know it happens all the time. it's too often now. That's what's crazy. Zaki, what's up, bro? What's going on, Zaki? What's going on, Alejandro? Good afternoon, Mike Newland. Rodrigo, if you took advantage of the recent Rakuten 30K MR points for the Chase Sapphire Preferred 100K offer, you made a lot of points off a $95 annual fee card. Legit. I can't believe Rakuten did that. It's pretty crazy, actually. So, for those who are unaware, Rakuten now is starting to offer. They're starting to get a little crazy, and they're starting to offer some deals like, sign up for the Sapphire Preferred 100K offer. Okay, you get your 100K, but then they also give you 30K Amex points on top of that, which is like, whew, that's a lot better than a standard referral of just 10K per Sapphire, right? Like 30K is substantial. So I could see Rakuten being a huge player in our game, even more so on the side of just applying for cards. And obviously they're going to beat all creators, right? Because we just have standard referral links. So Rakuten's going to put everyone out of business. Man, had I been at my 4 years on the Sapphire Preferred, 100%. 100% I would have applied with the Rakuten likely. Got that extra 30K. Bam, right to Alaska. Absolutely. John with the 2 spot. Rakuten for the win. Appreciate you, John, man. Are you doing that? Did you do that with Iceland? Did you book anything through Rakuten or Viator, John? How are you guys, maximizing? I'm still such a novice. Like, I've just been doing it for like a week now. And I'm like, whoa. I'm like, how did I sleep on this for so long? But thank you for that, John. Much appreciated on the super chat, man. Kevin Iwan, sometimes credit card companies do rugged pull rewards or benefits or both. I mean, I could see. Yeah, I mean, what kind of rug pulls are we talking though? What kind of how big scale are we talking on? Some rug pulls, talking like get rid of credits and stuff, or what? Memphis Mike, hello from Hilton Resort Myrtle Beach. I'll be out there fairly soon, actually, as well. I'll be in Hilton Head for my timeshare in the not so distant future. So, I mean, I'm sure you'll be gone by the time I get there, but hopefully you're enjoying that out there, Mike. Appreciate you being here. My code, hey, my son's here. Hello, Mike. What's going on, Mike? And this is not going to be a crazy live. We're just going to hang out and we'll talk about a couple of little things that I've been thinking of, and then we'll head out. But thank you, Mike, for that, being here and always being my son. That's great. Alejandro, they're low right now. A few days ago, a lot of 20x. Yeah, so that's a good point. So like, where is it? So Rakuten right now for Viator's 10x back. The other day it was 15x. And if you were somebody that, and Ian said this, I didn't know there was a thing, but Ian said, I guess if you spend a lot through there on Rakuten, they will bump it up. So you can actually get 20x back on Viator. But it says here, was 2x. So I guess typically is 2x, but right now it's elevated to 10x. So I'm like, I'm just thinking like out, September, October, for whenever we're flying out to Italy, I'm like, let me start booking stuff now. Let me start booking stuff now to get my 10x. I mean, what the hell, right? That could be substantial. So 100%. Mike using Dell credits through Rakuten is powerful. Oh wow, I didn't really think about that. That's a good point. So I guess if you have a business platinum card, where you get, a certain amount of money towards Dell every 6 months, something like that. Yeah, I guess you could technically go on Dell and buy that same thing with your business platinum, get that credit back to you, and earn 5x back on that purchase. And the powerful thing is it's 5x on the top line number because you're getting back a statement credit. So if it's like a $500 thing, let's say it's $1,000 thing, computer, who knows? You'll get 5x on the $1,000 purchase price. So you get 5,000 points for that one purchase, and then you'll get that credit back at, whatever the number is. I actually haven't looked at it. Is it 200 every 6 months? Is that what it is? I haven't looked at it in a little bit. So I'm pretty good. Even like Target 1x back. Obviously, if you have the Target Red card, actually, no, I think it still works, right? That would still stack. If you go on Target and use your Red card, that's 5% off, and then you still get the 1x back on membership reward. I mean, like, why not take the extra 1x, right? I guess that's the idea, at least how I'm thinking about it. Xavier, I'm one of the no Amex points people, LOL, waiting for the green refresh so I can start climbing the ladder. And I have no Rakuten account. But hey, look, even if you're not an Amex person, just screw it. Just get on there. Yeah, I don't see any downside to using the portal. I mean, we just bought some stuff from there. Doesn't seem to be any issues. Might as well just get some percentage back on something, get some cash back in the meantime. 100%. Super Sal, what's going on? I use Rakuten for PetSmart 20x. 20x PetSmart. That's pretty interesting. I would start shopping at PetSmart again, even though it's a little bit more inflated from like the Targets and stuff of the world. But if I can get 20x back on PetSmart, I might start doing that. That's a good, Is it elevated right now? I mean, we have to pay for some stuff. Let's see. PetSmart. 15. Oh, we got 15x right now. 15% back or 15x. Let's go. Okay. I see you. We might have to do that, Super. I didn't know that. Wow. Honestly, just like if you have some like excess cash, just like prepay. I don't know how long, cat food lasts, but if I can prepay for that stuff, why not? My life on earth. Come stai, Anthony? Va bene. Still learning Italian. I want to, I need to like record today versus like at day 60 versus day, 100 or whatever it is going to be. Day 4 months, for Italian. So we'll make it happen. Supercell, 14,500 points pending on Rakuten. Very cool. I got 3,000 pending. Because I referred my wife over as well, so I got those as well. Juan Garcia, what's going on, Juan? How's everything, sir? Woodsy, hey yo, what's going on? Woodsy got 20,000. Oh yeah, Woodsy, you're another one who I remember talking to over the years who were like, oh, I got like 70K MR coming or something like that. Yeah, we said total rewards over. I thought you told me you had like so many in the past. I remember you telling me about that in the past. John R, nothing I did in Iceland was on Rakuten or Vider except for $3 cash back for Iceland. Oh wow, that's right. You actually got you got $3 in cash back for the Iceland Air flight. Not bad. Woodsy, right now PetSmart for me is 20x. Yeah, so you must be a valued player with Rakuten. You must be very valued to get that extra multiplier. Absolutely. Nevis Mike, I used my wife's Ventrex card to book this Hilton here in Myrtle Beach, and Cap One is giving her 10x points. Plus, I get my Hilton points as a gold member. Not a bad deal. I mean, that's a whole argument right there. That's a whole conversation that Mike's talking about. It's like, okay, there's a cool hotel. It's 80,000 points, and it's $250 cash. Okay, that's way less than the standard, 0.5 cents per point redemption on Hilton, even though it's like, averages, of course, and all that. But, okay, so cool. Or, I could spend that 80,000 points and I can, get essentially a free stay, for those points, whatever. But the whole world that states like, okay, 250 cash, maybe I can just pay the 250 cash, get 10x points back with the Capital One portal, which I think it's still elevated 10x right now, pay cash. So that's 2,500 Capital One miles you'll be getting back. Or if it's on Rakuten as well, then 10x membership reward points, Amex points. But then he's saying, if you're a gold member or even diamond, you can get upwards to 34 points per dollar spent. So not only are you, and plus not even talking about the dining credits and stuff like that if you're gold member. But you can get into a world where it's like, all right, a $300 let's say it's one night, $300 for a Hilton stay. If you pay in cash with your Hilton Aspire, well, I guess you're talking about Capital One, so you got to use your Venture or Venture X. But like if it's on Rakuten or something, maybe I could use an Aspire, get 34 points per dollar, and I get 10x Amex points back. Like there's a real argument where it's like that's a better, like way better than anything else that you could possibly do. I think that's pretty powerful to think about, especially. I mean, the 10x miles is great for Capital One. Absolutely, and I've been doing that a lot more recently. Like I've been more so changing my thought process on. For many many years, I was always like, I just want a free stay. Like I don't want to pay any cash for anything. But as time has gone on, and I realized like I'm booking out now an insane amount of travel for the next year, I'm like, I need to conserve these points as much as possible. And so now I'm looking at Hilton points or any other points is like, would I pay cash for that amount of points? And if yes, it's probably not the best deal in in my favor. Like for example, um, did I have one recently? Uh, well, I on the Hyatt side, but I'll keep it with Hilton. Let's just say it's like in that example, 80,000 points at 250 cash price. It's like, okay, would you buy Hilton points would you buy 80,000 Hilton points for 250 cash? It's like, oh hell yeah. It's like that's not actually a great deal for you in that case. But if it's closer to 1 cent per point, like a lot of SLHs, which I've been finding, like, oh my goodness, the redemptions on SLH hotels since the partnership are insane. They're all like 1 cent per point. That same 80,000 80,000 Hilton points can book you maybe an SLH that's worth $800 or $900, even in some cases higher than that, for a cash price for a hotel. So it's like I'd rather, okay, then I'll just pay cash for this hotel and save the 80K points for that crazy redemption. It's definitely something I've shifted in the last few months after like really getting sparse and really like bankrupting myself everywhere else. So I appreciate you saying that, Mike, because it's very interesting. It's an extremely interesting point, that I think people can talk about more for sure. What's good as well as Hilton is oftentimes I see Hilton pop up a 4 to 8x, and I book enough or plan out far enough to book Hilton stays through Rakuten with a Hilton card. I mean, yeah, 100%. The amount of stacking you can do with Rakuten and Hilton cards would be insane at an actual Hilton property. Steve says, I don't buy online all that much, but I got 10K Amex points or so the last year. I mean, 10K is amazing. I would love to have 10K right now to throw to Alaska. I mean, that like 10K can be the difference between like, can I get this flight done or can I not get this flight done? As I've seen. Daily double. I have the daily double. I have earned over 50,000 Amex points this year so far through Rakuten. It's game changer. Absolutely. I mean, it's really a game changer, for sure. The one says all last week was Rakuten week, so everything was elevated. Yep, absolutely. Sylvia, what's going on, Sylvia? Since getting the Amex Blue Business Plus in January, I've been getting MR points. They add up. Absolutely. Yeah, man. Everyone's starting to come back around to Amex. Everyone wants some Amex points now. Definitely. Carlos says, don't forget Rakuten in-store with linked accounts. We got CVS 5X, sometimes 10 to 50. So again, I'm not even familiar with that. I didn't even know there's a Rakuten in-store deals. I just knew about like the dining. Like I saw you can add your card for Rakuten dining, and like I guess if you're linked with your Rakuten card and there happens to be a place that lands within that, which I've been trying to find some and none of them really popped up, but when you pay with the card that's linked to your Rakuten account, you'll get like crazy multipliers. So it's very, very interesting for sure. I didn't even know there's like in-store Rakuten deals. That's pretty cool. Sylvia, I'm waiting in vain for the Amex screen to get an elevated offer. Sylvia, I don't know. I don't. When is the last? I mean, what's the highest we've ever seen on the Amex Green? I mean, would I be crazy to think there was a 60K once? If I think really hard, I know definitely is 45K, but I don't remember if there was ever a 60. There might have been. There absolutely might have been. I'm not sure. But I hear you on waiting in vain. Dennis, the timeshare police are waiting for you, Anthony. Oh no, don't do it. I'm really trying to stay under the radar. I hope my time isn't coming with the timeshare, but I'm really trying to take advantage while I can. But I'll be there soon, so we'll see. See what happens. I can't wait to recount that. 20K this year, Wizzy. Wow, very nice, very nice. Just a few months in. Like Newland, the VPN deals is an easy 10K each time you do it when it's 100x. I mean, that's insane. Like 100x. How do you even come up with that number? That's crazy. Alejandro says, have you seen about the epic deal once a week, Wednesday? So far, they announced 30x Timu, 521 Skechers, 25x Victoria's Secret, 15x. That's crazy. I wonder, I would have to really think about the math on it, but like, is there ever a world where the amount of multipliers is so high that it's worth just buying the thing, even though you don't need it? Like the Timu 30x, like, could I just buy a bunch of junk for $100? Like, is that worth? No, it's not worth the 3,000 points. No. What would be that the multiplier that it is worth it though? Like, would you do it for 100x if you spent like $100 on random crap that you're gonna you're gonna throw out? Let's see, $100 at 100x. Is that worth the $100? It might be. That might actually be worth it in that case. Oh god, then you just end up with endless stuff in your house. But it's worth the points. Skechers 20x back on Carlos. This is funny. The Rakuten podcast. They elevate their offers on holidays. Okay, good to know. Maybe we get some, like, I don't know, any other holidays coming up other than July 4th. We got Independence Day coming up. This coming week, they're elevating specific days for specific stores. Interesting. Ms. Potato, booking via a travel portal means no elite status or elite benefits. Does Hilton still give you base points plus bonus points for the stay? Yeah, so basically, in the example that I mentioned earlier, you have to book through Hilton Direct. So, like, Capital One, I believe right now has like a 10x back through Hilton.com. So you can book online but direct with the chain itself, and then you will get the points multipliers and stuff. As far as like booking with travel portals, like if you're going to book on Chase or Expedia and stuff like that, I mean, I won't say it's impossible, but it's like, even in the rules, it states it's not a thing. Like, anytime you book a hotel, like with Hilton or any of the brands, Marriott's and Hyatt's, uh, once you book through a third party and not direct with Hilton, you are ineligible to earn base points on the stay. Even your benefits as well. Like, you're supposed to not be able to get your credits and the base points and all those things, different things. So it would have to be direct. The only time that I've really seen that you've been able to bypass that is with Amex's FHR. Is when you go through FHR and you book in that way, you can bypass it. Also, when you book with the travel programs, like the travel advisors, like Hyatt Privé, Hilton Impresario, like we talk about in the Discord with Mastercard, or just booking like the Edit collection, because a lot of the times for those, like, especially I'll speak for Mastercard because I've done it myself. Um, you'll be able to get all those excess benefits, and even though I mean, it's still technically it's direct with Hilton, so you can actually, like, it's not third party, so you do get the direct points, but then you also can pay cash at the hotel itself. Honestly, with any card, but like they say, oh, Mastercard, you have to pay with a Mastercard, but you just go there and you can just pay with your Hilton card. So you can get if you have the Spire 34X, with all of your credits from the program, the Impresario, and then whatever else. But yeah, if we're talking like through the portals and like these benefits, like Capital One has direct with Hilton, so yeah, you can. But yeah, anytime it's like an Expedia, Priceline, Hotels.com, yeah, it's not going to count. It's not going to count. Or even Chase Travel Portal, in a lot of cases. Actually, the Chase Travel Portal, I wonder, because I know a lot, they do count it as like cash on the back end. I wonder if anybody, I mean, the idea is third party, it's not supposed to be. You're not supposed to. In fact, even if you try, like, there's been a couple times I went to Marriott's through portals, and I tried to add because I was, gold elite for many years with the platinum card. You don't get any base points. In fact, it goes in your reservation. It's like, oh, here's your stay. And then it, like, after you do your stay, it just disappears. Like, it just goes away, like you never did the stay in the first place. Um, so, but no, good question on that. Mike Newland, bank deals are great too. I did 37,500 points for SoFi. Very nice. See that? I mean, Rackets is kind of taking over the world, huh? I mean, I'm just starting to see this, but I'm like, okay, now they're dealing with the credit card offers. Now they have Rackets in dining. Now they're doing this on banking stuff. I mean, what the heck? They're taking over. John says, you and I talked about this morning, Anthony, about my trip to France. Horrible Hilton Honors points redemption offers, and cash price was low enough, so I booked with cash. Absolutely, absolutely, man. And that is partially kind of what I was thinking about, like the 80K points and 250K. Yeah, 100%. If the redemption's just not there, it's really, freaking knows. Gone are the days where I'm like, I just want to pay. Like, I guess that's a whole nother conversation. But like, gone are the days where I just wanted like a free stay. I've kind of I feel it now. I feel the idea. I'm not so far in where I'm like, Sean Lane when I talked to him that one time when he was like, I just cannot bring myself to book this hotel because the cent per point's so low, even though a couple months later it's high. So it's arbitrary, but for the most part. But yeah, I'm just like, if you know that you can book something better, then I opt out of it. So it's like if I know on my Hilton points, it's like a point 2, 3, 4, 5, even 5, 6. Nowadays, it's like I'm not getting out of bed. you know, like all the ones that I've been booking recently, I'm like, bro, go straight to SLH. Like I don't even look at any Hilton brands anymore. I'm like, since noticing SLH hotels, small luxury hotels with their partnership, they're all just amazing value. And obviously the points are inflated too. Most of them are over $1,000 a night, and they're also about over 100,000 points per night. But man, they look so nice, and I'm so excited to actually stay at them. But now I'm like, why would I waste 80K on a 200 or 300 night hotel? Just pay cash for that, save that 80K, save that 100K, and just go book a freaking SLH whenever you're going to be traveling. But obviously, it depends. My goals are much more extreme this year with where I'm going. In the past, I have used 80K to book 200 hotels, $200 hotels. And, I can't consciously say I think about it. Maybe every now and again, I'm like, oh, I could have saved a little bit, but in hindsight, you never really think about anything anyway. So it's just the way I'm thinking about things for the future. But yeah, if you're only traveling like once a year, who cares? Do whatever you want, for sure. MR, my points add up. Your MR points, am I right? John R, the points all add up. Absolutely. Exactly. I got the Rakuten bank bonuses with SoFi for 20. I got to do that. See, I never had a SoFi. So if I can get, I never had a SoFi and Alliance. So if I can get a cool deal, like you guys just mentioned earlier, getting SoFi with an extra, 25K or whatever, that's pretty cool. And Sylvia says 60K. Is that referring to that? Because that would be kind of crazy. Xavier, Anthony, do you use Hilton Dining? No. So basically what I've seen recently is that like I think you have to pick your dining program. So like essentially if you were going to use, like we were talking about, I don't know if it says it right here. Is there like a dining? Oh, here's the in-store. Oh, that's the little thing we were talking about earlier. I don't know where I found it, but there's a little option for dining somewhere. I don't, where did I see that? I don't know. But essentially you could like add your card to this, and then you could have the swath of Rakuten partnerships, so this way you can earn some MR points back for your dining. And originally I had it under AA, and then I said, let's just see what happens. So I had a dining account with American Airlines. Then I went to Rakuten, immediately get an email saying, oh, you can only have one at the same time. So it removed my card from that. So yeah, I think you can really only have one. And if I'm gonna choose one at this time, I think it's gonna be Rakuten, I guess, for now, until I find something that I think might be more interesting. But now I'm like, I don't have zero now. Actually, do I have zero? Yeah, I do have zero. I have zero membership award points, Amex points. I have 3,000 pending with Rakuten. So I'm like, if I could just build that up with the dining, with the regular Viator tours and all that stuff, okay, I'm happy. So that's that's one thing that I'm thinking about. But yeah, it seems like you got to just choose the right one. And for me, it's Rakuten at the moment. Phil Will's World, what's going on? Phil, Rakuten is a must. I don't think I spent a lot, but earned 30K last year, mostly on tours. They seem to add up. I mean, freaking 20x the other day. Doesn't take that. It doesn't take much, right? Spend 500 on tours. That's 10,000 Amex points. Man, that's great. That's really great. Emma says, I don't think I could fit anything in Victoria's Secret, or I would think about it. Well, never say never. Don't knock it till you try it. You got to go to a store, and then you got to try things on, and then you could say definitively that you can't fit in anything. Unreal. Supercell, they elevated their offers all week for Mother's Day. They might do it for Father's Day. Oh, okay, good to know. Good to know. Let's see what they can give us, baby. Now I'm all in. Now I'm with it. Mr. Potato says, gotcha. I thought you were talking about getting 10x Capital Miles via the Capital One travel portal. Yeah, sorry. I meant specifically the shopping portal on Capital One, where they have like 10x for Hilton hotels. Yeah, in that case, yeah, you're not going to get anything. You're not supposed to get your base points. Not saying it's impossible, but you're not supposed to get them. And I think 99% of the time you don't. But you always read one Reddit thread that's like, oh no, I got it. But it really can't. You really can't. As per the terms. Alejandro, and obviously my own experiences of doing them. Alejandro says, buying gift cards at CVS has worked for me for 2 years. 5x, 7.5x sometimes. Sometimes 10 to 15x plus the 3x I get From the Chase Freeman Unlimited, I get Target, Walmart, Amazon, and gas gift cards. I mean, that's pretty interesting. Oh, geez. Those are the things that are like less talked about. Those are the less talked about things. It's like, I remember when we were talking about the Chase Freedom Unlimited when they had the double points offer, or even just the not too long ago, it still had the extra 1.5x on everything. So theoretically at that time you could have gotten between 4.5 to 6x back on drugstores or CVS in Alejandro's case, and you could have earned, yeah, I mean 4.5 to 6x plus the 10 to 15x on those multipliers there. And yeah, you can get Target, Walmart, Amazon gas gift cards and just use that for spending. I mean, I know there's people that play that game. I don't, but it's very interesting. I'll just say it's very interesting, Alejandro. Sylvia says, I need to start on Chase cards. What would you recommend first? I'll be 224 in August. Wow, you're in a great place to get started. I'm thinking of applying for the Chasing Cash in the beginning of the year, next year. Yeah, I would say so. Like if you don't have any Chase cards at the moment, but as I know you're already in this game, then probably if I'm you, yeah, if I'm you and I don't have anything, I probably would get started on the whole Chase game. I mean the Chase Inc. Game, the business game. Get it Inc. Unlimited, get it in cash. I'm assuming if you get the in cash, you got some use cases for it already with the multipliers. Like I'm paying for AT&T and stuff. It's 5x back on that, so that's pretty cool. It's about 500 points a month. So I would probably get an Inc. I would get it in cash, Inc. Unlimited. And then hopefully at that time, you never know if we can get a little bit more common on these 100K offers on the Sapphire Preferred, maybe closer to around that time, maybe we can get an additional 100K next year, go for the Sapphire Preferred at that time. And, you still will only be at 324 if you don't get any other cards. So I think you'll be in a good spot with that and, an extra few 100,000 Chase points at that point. So that's probably what I would do personally, since you're already talking about getting into the chasing game for sure. Members Mike says, I just clicked on the offer Capital One and it took me straight to the Hill website and books. Give me my points. Mike, you did that while we were live? While we were live, you did that. All right. So look at that. Memphis Mike is putting it all into action. He's not talking about it. He's being about it. So he not only is getting his 10x back venture miles, Capital One miles, he's also getting his base points on the Hilton site if he's gold member or above. And he's also getting 2x back on the venture card itself. So like that's 12x back, Capital One miles and your base points. It's pretty cool. It's going on fun. Earned 41,000 Amex points in 3 quarters via rack. That's great. That's really, really great. Absolutely. Man, I wish I've been doing this all along. I feel so dumb. And we'll talk about another thing that helped out a lot afterwards. SEATS.AERO. Xavier, what is considered a low enough cash amount for a room? So this is something that really depends on you. Like, obviously your income, it depends on how much, money you have in the bank. It's like, do I really want to be, because like for many years, I was just like, I don't want to pay cash for anything because, I don't have that much cash for anything. So I just opted in to use my points for the last 7 years now, with my wife and I stayed in Garden Inn, stayed at True's, bunch of Hiltons. It doesn't really matter I never looked at the cash price. I just said, okay, I have points to cover it. Now I'm just going to cover it. But nowadays life is a little bit different. And now, we have some of the cash to be able to pay for some of these stays, and points are harder and harder to come by as they, once were. Actually, technically kind of easier nowadays, but I guess for the argument's sake, because I was able to get all those Hilton cards in the past, now I'm like locked out of the bonuses and stuff. So that's one of the main things. It's like, if I was in if I was in shambles, like, no, I'm not going to opt in to pay cash if I can't afford it, for the points. But I'm just talking from my perspective of like, yeah, I don't mind paying cash right now for some things. What would be a low enough cash amount for a room? I guess part of it depends on what your limit is. So like a lot of the times when I book some of these cash days, I usually don't like to go above 300, 350. I mean, I've done 500 plus, but like, I just don't really, it's just not feeling right at the moment. So then maybe I might pivot to a different currency and whatnot. But like if there's, in that example earlier, like me and John were talking, because you mentioned it, so I'll bring it up. He was talking about a hotel in a different country. And he was like, 80,000 points or whatever it was. I think it was like 85,000 points or 270 cash or something like that. So say like 80,000 points, 250 cash, make it easier. That, if you were taking like what everyone tells you online about a standard redemption, zero point 0.5, 0.6, that's $400 to maybe $500, in cash, minimum cash value that you should be getting out of those 80,000 points. Obviously, I just told you earlier, I think SLH is like the way if you have enough Hilton points, and frequently they're like 1 cent and above. So like 80,000 points will give you 8, 9, even $1,000 cash night. But if it's in that example where it's like, okay, 100K or 80K points at a 250 cash price, that's very low. That's too low of a redemption. It's like 0.3, whatever it is. And I will 100% rather keep those 80,000 points to book a crazier hotel and then just pay cash for that particular one, if that's the one you're trying to stay at for any reason. For me, it's like, I guess if it's close enough to a particular destination, the hotel that I'm looking for, it looks nice enough, the reviews are all good, then I'll just, it depends. If it's not good, then I'll pivot. But that's basically my metric for it. It's like if I can, it depends. If it's close, like if it's like the place I want to go to, like if this is the hotel that I want to stay at, it's great, it's perfect. Honestly, any redemption would be fine, but there's very few hotels where I'm like dead set, I will pay any price for that. And the ones that I already have booked. So like anything that's just, I'm just looking for a really nice hotel in this, really nice area. You're going to find a million hotels in an area. Like Lake Como is a perfect example. I decided instead of spending, and this is two different arguments, but I'll say it anyway. I was in between booking the Park Hyatt Milan and a Mr. and Mrs. Smith on Lake Como because it looked pretty cool, and I wanted to use my Hyatt points. Ended up being about, I would say, 85,000 Hyatt points spent for the total of 3 nights out there between Milan and Lake Como. And I guess, well, one thing I didn't do, but I did consider, is that the cash price on that Mr. and Mrs. Smith hotel was probably within 1 cent per point for Hyatt. So if I spent 40,000, it was probably $400 cash. So in any other world, I would absolutely every single day of the week pay cash for that $400 stay. Do those 2 nights. It was like 200 a night, and I'll save that 40,000 or 45,000 Hyatt points because I know that 45,000 I can book a Park Hyatt somewhere else, which I actually ended up booking like the Park Hyatt in Kyoto, which is like one of the hardest to book in the world, and I can't believe it. But that's like the same 45,000 points that got me that Mr. and Mrs. Smith for $400 in cash, booked a $2,500 a night hotel. So I'm like, when the points work out like that, I'm like, no, I'll pay cash 100%. Screw that. Let's cancel the stay, pay it in cash, do one of these portals. Cool. Get some points back for it, and then just save those points for a more aspirational one down the line. Another part of that is, so since I canceled those, I realized I had high points. So I'm going to save that for a different trip. But now I all of a sudden had an influx of Hilton points. So I ended up, looking around, and I was like, what's in the area of Lake Como? Because now I'm no longer staying in Milan. I'm staying all in Lake Como. So there was the Hilton Lake Como. It was 90,000 points per night. And I was like, okay, it's right there. It's, people always said it's amazing. So I did book a night there for 90K. But then I saw this really crazy one. And that was the one I talked about it a recent live stream, recent video, but it's called the View. I'm really excited for it because everybody who I've talked to have actually stayed there or online. They were all like, it's amazing. It's actually in Lugano, which is like the Italian region of Switzerland. And so that was like 120, maybe 130,000 points per night. And while all the points that I had, I could have either booked 3 nights in Hilton Lake Como, or I could have done 1 there and then 2 at the other one. I realized like the value for the points, it was like the Hilton Lake Como was like a 0.7 cents per point, and the one in the Switzerland was like 1.1. It was like a crazy, like 50% more value. But that's, again, if I wanted to only stay at Hilton Lake Como, I don't care. I wouldn't have cared. I'm like, this is the place I want to stay. This is where I want to be. I realized that it was only a half hour away, and it actually it's like a really easy commute apparently. Like just talking to people who've been there, and it looks like an amazing stay. So I was like, screw that. I'm going to divert and push my points over there. So I don't know. It's been this whole shell game that I've been playing, and I'm trying to get better at articulating it. But I hope you guys understand what I mean. I mean, like, I don't know if you can get a better place for the same amount of points, or pay a little extra points for a better place, or what seemingly is a better place. I'm kind of opting into that. And if it's like the cash price is so low and the points are so high, I'm just gonna pay cash and I'll keep those points for another, like one of those crazy stays. That's kind of where I'm at the moment. Obviously I'm always learning alongside you guys. So I'm excited to actually freaking do these days. But I guess that's my whole spiel on that and what I've been thinking about more recently. So I hope that makes sense. Lynn, what's going on, Lynn? What's up, Anthony? Can't believe Labor Day is coming up soon. For the annual creator meetup. So Labor Day. So yeah, November. Yeah, November, man. It's coming closer. It's definitely coming closer. You guys doing anything special for Labor Day? Lynn, are you traveling? Lynn's always traveling, right? But are you traveling for Labor Day? I'll be home. I'll be just getting back, I think. Or yeah, I don't know. What the hell is Labor Day? I think it's actually, is it like a day after my birthday? I don't know. I think it's right around my birthday, actually. I don't know. I have to see what the dates are. But yeah, are you guys doing anything for that? Let me know. Devil Cruise. I just booked a 2-night stay through Amex, the hotel collection, and it looks like I'm going to get my hotel collection benefits and the points for Marriott. We'll see if the base points stay in my account. So, yeah, so when you book through the hotel collection or FHR, it's the only times that I've ever seen people be able to book like a Marriott or book a Hilton or book a Hyatt and still be able to get your base points. I think partly is because it does use essentially like a travel agent, kind of like I talked about earlier with Privé and all those ones. Kind of like MasterCard, it's kind of like that. So I almost feel like that's what kind of skirts you by. But there's been times where I booked a Hilton. Actually, yeah, I booked a Marriott. Actually, myself, I booked a Marriott once through FHR and I did get my points. I booked a Marriott through Expedia and I did not get my points. Hilton, same exact thing. There was Hilton where I did get my points. There was a Hilton where I didn't, both with like FHR. So, and there's times where I booked FHR and didn't get my benefits, like my extra Hilton credits on top of it. And then there were some times that I did. So it's like, it's kind of hit or miss. Really depends on the property sometimes. So yeah, it's a very much can happen for sure. So yeah, definitely give us an update if that happened with that one for sure. It would be cool to have a database to see all the ones that have given points and have given benefits over the years. Nobody's actually really thought about putting that together, but that would be interesting. Lynn says, I did the same with my stays in China. Much better value to book with cash over Hilton Honor points. Absolutely nice. Yeah, it seems like China's got some, man, I would love to go there. I'd love to go to freaking China, man. I would really love to. But it seems like they have some crazy, pretty cheap places. Pretty cool. My life on Earth. For now, Conrad Tokyo is the only hotel I use my Hilton points for. Can always get close to 1 cent per point. That makes the Surpass 6x grocery multiplier pretty decent. I just saw Waldorf Astoria Osaka going from 100 to 120K. Yeah. So now, yes. Yeah. So it's a good way to think about it, actually. Like if you can consistently find hotels or ones that you always use them on, if you go to certain, depends how you travel. If you go to like new places all the time or whatever, at least with like SLH, I've only been finding 1 cent per point. But if that's true, then yeah, your 6x groceries and Surpass, remain the same. And it's not like, earn 6x, but then it's really worth 0.5. So it's like 3x. So that's actually a good way to think about it on the multiplier side. That's pretty interesting. And I have been starting to look at hotels in Japan as well. I did actually, no, I did look at Osaka this morning, actually, the Waldorf there. So going to 120K, damn. Yeah, I was trying to see, because I think I'm going to be able to work it to where I can have all of my stays for the next few months of travel or 6 months of travel completely covered. And I think I'll be left over with 1 Hilton free night certificate. So I'm trying to find where to use that for Japan. There's an interesting one in Kyoto. There's a forget the name of it, like Suck something, but it's an SLH, and I'm like, I don't know. I got to ask some people if they've been there and stuff. But I just looked at it this morning real quick. I think it's interesting. So maybe if you have any advice for that, for sure, before I do all that. Xavier said, if you get the bank bonuses, then you can get your wife the bank bonuses after and get double the points. Oh yeah, actually, very 100%. 100%. I think I'll do that for sure. Sylvia says 60K for the Amex screen in 2023. I think it was 2020. So it was 60K. Okay. Yeah. I wasn't sure if I missed that or something. Yeah. Yep. Brooklyn Joe. That's Brooklyn Joe right there, man. I use Built for dining, get me Built points and my regular credit card points. Absolutely. Absolutely. I know some people are speculating, like, is it possible to have built dining and like Rakuten dining, and you get the points multipliers as well? I wonder. Um, I have to test that, but yeah, good point on built dining. I have used built dining as well especially in DC. Like, there's so many built dining restaurants. So yeah, you get extra 3x, whatever your card multiplier is. Pretty good. Oh, Lynn's actually talking about using his FNC and the Waldorf in Osaka from the pics. Looks fancy. Cash price 800, not bad. Dennis says, I quadrupled dining points with the airline portals using 2 different cards when paying at the restaurant. Oh my goodness. Dennis, you're going real hard. You're going hard in the paint, man. That's amazing. Philma says SLH I'm looking at is 150,000 Hilton points or 1,700 euros a night. So probably after taxes and fees, and converted back to USD, probably like 1,900 cash. Oof. I'll just buy the points during the next point sale and save 1,000 a night and save my points. I mean, that's a great way to think about it. You know, that's a great way to think about it. Yeah, I've been thinking about buying points more and more, especially since, didn't we just see like something about that? Didn't we just see? I think that's true, right? If you type in Hilton, can't you buy the points and also get Amex points back? Yeah, Hilton points. Yeah, this is true. Yeah, for the Hilton Honors program. Yeah, so you could buy your Hilton points and earn 1.25x back on that purchase, technically through Rakuten. That's kind of crazy. Wow. That's definitely how I'll be doing it if I go to do that. Definitely. Lambert says, I started using my city. City. Why can't I think of the name of this card? What's City Double Cash? Yeah, what the hell? I was thinking like, oh, like daily cash, or double cash. Link through my build. See how often I'm looking at City. Link through my built account to earn from rent 2x City thank you points and 1x build points. That way I won't have to apply for the build MasterCard, simplifying my setup. Yeah, actually, yeah, honestly, a really good. Hmm. That's good. That's a good little trick there. Like, you don't actually have to get the built Mastercard. I think a lot of people don't realize you could just have a built account and pay, your rent and stuff like that, um, and get some of those points through their account versus without having the card, and you can earn the 2x back, especially if you can avoid the fees and stuff. So that's pretty cool. Absolutely, avoid any of those fees in that setup, I should say. Not even talking about hidden welcome offers and stuff, which is a whole nother topic. Sylvia says, if another 100K comes up again, I'll jump on it. It makes me sick that I couldn't get it this time around because I'm at 524. Yeah, I hear you. Yeah, for sure. It's all right. Look, there's so many things that happen in this game. You know how many times I've missed out on things or made mistakes on things or incorrectly transferred my points. And one thing I found over time is like, I've done stupid, like really dumb transfers in the past. Like, my Amex points have been like, I don't think you could disrespect Amex points as badly as I have over the past few years. But I have. One thing I realize is pretty much no matter what, you will find a use case for whatever you do. I think there's a whole world where it's like, you feel like it's the end of the world. Like, I've transferred my Amex points speculatively to Air France. I've cashed them out at 1.1 with my Schwab. I've transferred them to Delta. I've transferred them like a lot to Hilton in this last year. And the one thing I found is like, you find a way to get it back, or for the points that you did send off, they always end up somewhere. You always end up somewhere that those points can get you home or get you there or help you with a hotel stay. So I'm like, yeah, there is way better ways I could have gone about it. But one thing in hindsight, I realized like you eventually find a use case for things. It seems like I never would have thought, I have two trips to Europe coming up in the next 4 months. And those Air France that I transferred literally like almost 3 years ago now ended up becoming the flights that are going to get me home from there. And like, there was no other real easy options. So I was like, okay, it's like, if I didn't have these, I don't know how else I would have figured it out, but I had them. So I ended up being able to use them. So it's like, there's a lot of pushing and pulling in this game I've learned recently. It's interesting, I think. Sylvia is thinking of applying for the City Strata if they elevate their 60K offer because I have the City custom gift. What's the highest we've seen on the City Strata? Because I'm interested in the card too. Did we not have an 80K like when it was a little bit popping off? Did we not have an 80K City Strata? Because that's pretty good. And you have the City custom cash that you help get. Yeah, so you have a great ecosystem there for sure. Brooklyn Joe, I never use Chase or Amex points for a hotel at 2 to 3 cents redemption when I can get 10 plus cent redemption on a business class flight. Yeah, there's a whole world for that. There's a whole world for folks who are heavy leaning on the business class flights versus heavy leaning like the real luxury hotel stays. And honestly, recently I've agreed with you. I think part of it is just like you know there's so many different cool hotels that you want to stay in all across the world. So it's like like if there's no other way to earn those points back, then it's a little tough. So like I've recently to book you know the whole Puerto Rico trip and Italy, like I ended up transferring a couple 100,000 Amex to Hilton. I never thought I was going to do that, but it just so happened that there was some time sensitive hotels and also places I really like for bucket list places I wanted to stay in. So I just decided to opt towards it. Could I have used that 200K for like A&A flights and stuff? Yeah. But I hear you. I hear you. It's just, man, there's so like again, there's so much pushing and pulling from what you have, what you could have, and that actually does bring me to the next point, but I just kind of want to get through what you guys are saying, but it's interesting. I'll circle back to that. So John says, 250 cash a night is a lot better than spending 85K Hilton Honors points tonight for a curio. F that, I'll pay cash every day. Absolutely. Sylvia, have you booked another stay through MasterCard? Oh yeah, I did a bunch of them. You got to use your, oh yeah. So you saw that video. You got to use your World of Hyatt for one of those stays, right? At some point, I want to get the World of Hyatt card. Yeah. So when you book through the MasterCard program, they tell you like you have to check out. Like basically, you can't prepay for it. You can make the reservation online. It's completely free, or you call them up. I've done both. And so they say when you go to the hotel to get your benefits, you have to cash out with a MasterCard. I have not seen that to be the case yet. I've cashed out with because and on that video that Sylvia's talking about, it was a Hyatt hotel. It was the Andaz in Savannah, Georgia. And I was like, it was like, oh, you have this card on file because it makes you reserve it with a MasterCard. So my Built card, I said, can I just change it to this card? And they're like, oh yeah. So I used my Hyatt card, and that card gets what is it 4x or 9x, whatever it is, paying cash for the stay. So not only you get like that 9x back for paying with your World of Hyatt card and being a member. So yeah, 5x base points, 4x on the card. So 9x points on that, but then all the benefits wrapped into it. And no one ever made a fuss about not being able to. I mean, I've done it at Hilton as well. I did MasterCard with Hilton. So I did it with Hilton. I did it with the Hyatt. There's one other one, but I can't think about it. I can't think which one it is right now. And then, yeah, did I do Marriott? I think I booked a Marriott, but I don't think I stayed there. But yeah, they didn't make a fuss. So I just paid with any card. So if like you're hitting a welcome offer on like a Visa, go for it. So yeah. Not saying it'll never come up. Like maybe the hotel's like, I don't know, crazy. And they're like, listen, I saw this is with MasterCard, but there's no way there's really no way for them to tell. Because on the booking side, it says through, like in those cases, Hilton Impresario or Hyatt Privé. So it looks as if it was just a travel agent who booked it to you. It doesn't look like they don't know it came from MasterCard. As far as I can tell, they are not able to see where it was booked from. It just shows, oh, it was booked with a travel agent. So I don't see how you would ever, they're going to watch this now. I actually know MasterCard watches because apparently the daughters of people who work there the office has watched like my old MasterCard videos. So apparently they watch. So hopefully they don't like patch that. But also like we're an hour deep in the live stream. I don't know if people are really, watching that stuff. But it's interesting. Little loophole though, I think. Especially since especially since like with that Hilton, that Waldorf that I booked, you can do the whole MasterCard thing and then just pay with your Surpass or Aspire and get crazy points per dollar. Rodrigo, you're going to use your Built card to pay your mortgage when that feature is available. I'm no joke. I mean, I'm still going to do it how I've always done it, like with rent. Last year, all I did last year was pay my rents with my Chase Inc. business cards. Every 3 months, I hit a new welcome offer, and I just kept doing that for all the businesses. I just kept doing that, and when the mortgage becomes available, I will do the exact same thing. I will just continue, unless they only allow you to pay with the Built card. then I'm, then yeah, then I will. If it's like only build card, then sure. But if it's like how rent is, where you can pay with any card and just pay a 3% fee, um, yeah, um, yeah, definitely will do that instead. I'll hit a bunch of welcome offers, absolutely. John says, but I'm also the fly in the ointment. I'm also the fly in the ointment in the credit card points of my house game. No, John, you're big time, man. You're booking out a lot of cool things. You've done a lot of cool things. Absolutely. You just got back from Iceland. I mean, come on. Lambert says, once I'm under 524, I'm going to get the Chase Hyatt card purely for the free night award. I'll use it for when I go to the U.S. Open tennis, which will more than offset the annual fee. Yeah, absolutely. Look, if that's is the U.S. Open every year? Is that a yearly thing? If you already have like a specific spot that you're like, I can definitely use it there. One thing I will say about the World of Hyatt card, though, interestingly enough, is I've actually been thinking about canceling it. I hate to say that. Partly because I don't know if we will. I mean, I have till like September to figure it out, but I don't know if we will. But one thing I learned is that I recently had two Hilton or Hyatt free nights, two Hyatt free nights recently. One that was expiring like 2 weeks from now or a little bit more. And I was like, oh, I didn't really think about it. And I was like, I'm not really traveling. So I ended up opting to use it at a hotel not too far from me that actually got downgraded from a category 5 to a category 4. Because if you don't know, the Hyatt free night certificates only work for category Hyatts between 1 and 4. And so I'm going to use it there. The one that is expiring later this year, I ended up using on a hotel recently. But one thing that I found is like it's actually pretty hard to find it in a few different areas, of places that had Cat 4 Hyatts that I wanted to stay in. I remember looking in Italy. I was like, oh, I could use it for Italy. Come to find out, the only category 4 Hyatt that I could possibly book there was in Venice. And I looked at the reviews. They were like, air conditioning doesn't work. It's hot and it's a bad place. So it's like, okay, cool. It was like a Hyatt centric in Venice, Italy. I was like, all right, so I'm not going to use it there. So I ended up using it somewhere else, but I maybe I gotta look a little bit more. I would say probably Japan has a bunch. I haven't looked at it yet. So maybe when we get our new free night, actually, that's a good point. We'll actually get another free night in September. Maybe I'll use that. There's a bunch of Cat 4s that Michael Long was telling me about in Osaka, I think. And so actually, maybe I'll do that. That'd be interesting. But I don't know. Part of me was like, man, it's a little hard to find some category 4s. Then you hope that the ones that you want to book it, like there was been ones that I've been looking at for years that I wanted to use the free night at. In I think it was the Tribune. I think the Tribune in Rome was Cat 4, and then all of a sudden it went to Cat 5, and now you no longer can use the free night there. So it's like, when those D values going to come around. All right. So Davos says I was able to redeem 200,000 points at the Waldorf Astoria in Cabo for 2 nights a good while back. Fast forward, now I've seen some one night rates go as high as 450. Well, you're probably looking at the non-award. You're probably looking at the premium rooms to get to 450K. But yeah, 100%. I mean, I believe that one's going from. Did someone say it in this chat, or did I see someone else say that? I don't remember, but I believe it's going from 100K to 120K. I think it's it's going to be they're raising the price on the Cabo, unless they did or they're going to. But that's awesome. That's one day I'll go there. One day, I think it's a cool place. Emma says Lugano is amazing, but just a warning: just about everything in Switzerland is closed on Sundays by law. Really, I didn't know that. Interesting. I wonder if I have. Huh. Let me look at the map real quick. Let me see what days I'll be there. I will be there. Oh wow, I think I actually will be there on a Sunday. I mean, I'll be there for a couple nights, so I think we'll be fine. Right? Am I right? Am I saying this right? One boom, 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 boom. Oh no, I think I'm leaving on a Sunday, so I don't really care anyway. Then that works. Perfect. That works. We're good then. We're good. I didn't know that. That's good to know. That's good to know. Interesting. John R says is around Veterans Day. Yes, in November. Davos says, I've heard some rumors about another premium World of Hyatt card. Yeah, it's been a couple of years now, I think, maybe a year and a half. There was some surveys put out by Chase. Like, what would you want to see? I think I saw upwards to 450 annual fees. I think it would be a very interesting card. Like they mentioned something with the ability to combine free night certificates. Like in my world, I'm like, yeah, if you can have the standard World of Hyatt personal card where you just have the Cat 1 to 4, but they say you can possibly combine them. Where maybe maybe in a world, this is what I was theorizing. I was like, okay, apparently, I don't know. It says it on there. It's like up in the survey, they said something about being able to combine free night certificates for like you turn two 1 to 4s into like a 1 to 6, and that would open up a lot of doors, or maybe open a 1 to 7 or something like that. Um, and so I was thinking in my mind, I was like, okay, so if that card unlocks the ability for that, and maybe that card comes with its own 1 to 6 or 1 to 7, something like that. Um, maybe my wife and I can both open up a World of Hyatt. I mean, she has one already, World of Hyatt personal card. Maybe I can open one up, and then she can transfer her free night to me, and I can combine them under my account if I have the premium card. So then every year for who knows, maybe it's a $500 annual fee for both cards, or two, maybe 600. You can have two 1 to 7 free night certificates with Hyatt. And I think a lot of people would be all over that. I think a lot of people would be all over that strategy if so, because two 1 to 7s, I mean, that's that could be a couple grand, easy. It could be more, honestly. It could be a few $1,000s in hotels. Absolutely. So yeah, it's still rumors, like everything. Freaking, we went crazy last stream. Remember last stream? If you guys were here, we went crazy with the Sapphire Reserve rumors. So it's all rumors, but we'll see. Yeah, we'll see. Life and if you need any restaurant recs, etc., let me know. We'll do, man. Appreciate you. Absolutely. Texas Dog. Hey everybody, what's going on, Texas? Texas. Yeah, Texas, you were there for the whole crazy membership brigade yesterday. It was insane. Insanity. Mike Newell and Ian, a bunch of people. Juan Garcia. My life, I'll start using Built More for Rakuten about now they have the J. So Built More for those different things now that they have Japan Airlines as a partner. Yeah, interesting. I don't know if you guys saw, but yeah, you can now transfer direct from Built points to Japan Airlines. Very interesting. Devil Cruise, even though I booked my hotel collection stay with my gold card, I'm still planning to pay with my green card to get 3x MR points. Yes. Yeah, definitely. There's well, why am I blanking on this? Do you not also get 3x on the gold for hotels on the portal? Why does my brain not remember certain things? Oh no, that's flights. It's not hotels. It's 2x on prepaid hotels. Oh, I see. So you're trying to capitalize on the additional 1x. But Sylvia says I thought you could only use the gold card or for gold card for platinum to pay for the hotel collection. I feel. Yeah, actually, I just realized, Devil, did you book that and not pay direct? Are you paying at the hotel? If you're paying at the hotel, then you should be fine because they usually don't care. And then yeah, you can pay with the green card. I never did that option. I actually never did the option of pay at the hotel, but I forgot that is an option. That's right. I haven't done it in about a year, but that is an option. So I guess yeah, when you get to the hotel, technically, as Sylvia says, I think that is a whole world where you have to use the platinum gold. But I think when you're point of sale, but I think that disconnect is what hurts them, and that's why I was talking about earlier with the other programs how I don't have to use a MasterCard to pay and check out. So if you did do off to pay there, then yeah, I think you're good actually with the green card. So that's pretty interesting. That's definitely interesting. Super sales, the memories you make are worth more than trying to redeem the points for max value. Yeah, I just think in my world, it's like not necessarily max value in the way that you think of like cent per point. I just think max value for the stay. Like I could do this hotel, it's not that great, or I can just pay a little bit more points and get it an extremely nice place. Like I do that all day, and that's like not only maximizing your value in certain cases, like cent per point, but also maximizing memories. Like you could do both. I'm like all about that. Absolutely. Devil said, "Oh, according to the terms, you just do any card." Yeah, I think either way you'll be fine. Yeah, I didn't really think about that. I just always had my platinum because you earn 5x on the thing, so I just always use that. It's interesting though. Mr. Potato, a lot of those high cent per point business class are actually 2 to 3 once you look at the cost to buy the points to book the flights. Yeah, it's also a good point. Especially I've been thinking about buying a couple Alaska to finish like a redemption. I'm like, it's a little expensive. It's like I just need like an extra 15K points, and it's like 300 cash. I'm like, damn, even with the bonus that's going on. So I don't know. Kevin says, I want to explain the rug pull something. Small rug pulls. I want to explain the rug pull. Something small that happened, for example, credit change in the small print or remove something on the card. Yeah, yeah. Every time these cards refresh, like Hilton, Surpass or whatever, getting rid of, um, removing like Priority Pass and stuff like that. Yeah, definitely. Steve says, "What was your central point at the Roosevelt and Knoll? I've been looking at the property and 0.365 says Roy's, but yeah. So, oh God, let me think. I believe I paid. I believe I paid 60,000 Hilton points. Am I right? I think I'm right. I think it was only, yeah, I think I paid 60,000 Hilton points. So I did 2 nights, just to be clear. We're talking about the Roosevelt and New Orleans. 60K points. I think it was I think it was just about 300. It might have been a hair under, but I feel like it was around 300. Oh, no, was it? I think it was maybe like 280. That feels right. I think it was around 280, something like that. So it was just a hair under the point 0.5. Part of that though also was I was actually going to do that anyway, regardless of that redemption, just because I want to stay there, whatever. This was actually before that I had this kind of change in my mind about cash and stuff, but yeah, I digress. That was basically like a sub zero point 0.5, like right below. And then the second night, I actually did pay cash. I paid 300 or 320, whatever it was, and I booked through Mastercard. And with that, I was able to pay 320 cash. I got back about $100 in dining credits, an extra $50 in Hilton dining credits, so about 150 total for food. Well, I mean like dinner, and then an additional we got 60 or $70. I think it was $60 in breakfast credits. So we got about $210 in food credits for the one night stay for a 300 maybe 320 cash price with Mastercard, not factoring in the 12,000 Hilton points I earned and not factoring in the 1,200 build points that I earned as well. So that's a lot of, yeah, there's a lot a lot of points there. But that, yeah, it's that's a hotel legit, like one of the few Waldorfs that you just pay cash for and just call it a day. Like it's very rarely will you find that hotel. I look throughout the year and stuff. It's very often you can pay just 200 cash. It's like it's a little over $200 cash price to book that Waldorf, and it's almost always like 60 to 80,000 Hilton points. Like it's not really worth it, I think. I think cash. I actually think the best is the Mastercard. I think booking through Mastercard or just any of those travel advisory programs, stuff like that. I think is travel advisor programs. If you could book it and pay cash with Mastercard, it's like an additional $50 at most. Like you could pay, like say in my example, I could have paid 270 cash, but I paid 320 cash, and then on top and for that I got an extra 160 in food credit. So it's like the food there is good, very good. Wow, Ian, I was wondering when you were going to get back from skinny dipping. Very good. We were wondering, man. We were wanting to see. Send me, send pics, or it didn't happen. Ian, how long are you going to be in Greece? I mean, what's going on here? I mean, Ian, you've been there for what? It seems like forever now. Uh, Mike Newland said, "What's going on, Ian? Thanks for reading." Mike Newland. Oh man, Mike Newland. That's the guy. Mike Newland gave out 120 memberships yesterday to people. I mean, that's insane. They give it a round of applause for Mr. Newland. He says, reading the terms and conditions of RAKUTEN, it's important buying on any link to make sure you understand. Some say you can't pay with gift cards. Some say you can, and you can't buy gift cards to earn points. Also, I wasn't aware of that, so I didn't even think about like if someone wanted to pay with gift cards. If that is the acronym, pay with gift cards on Rakuten. I just assume everyone's paying with a credit card, but that's a good point. Definitely good for people to know. Absolutely. Devil Cruz says, according to my reservation confirmation from Marriott, it clearly says booked through the hotel collection on my reservation, so they know. Yeah, it will say that. It will say that, but there's been times where I've booked it and it was like I remember one time. Here's a funny thing, to your point, Devil, is 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 that one time I booked an FHR with Marriott. It actually was a Marriott. And on the back end, even though on my side it said FHR, I looked at the printout that they gave me and it actually said Expedia, which was crazy. It actually said Expedia, even though I booked through FHRs. I don't know what they kind of play on the back end and stuff, but there's times where it actually shows up. There's also one that I did with MasterCard where it was like it said like on my end MasterCard, but then I looked at the fine print and it said Hyatt Privé, which is the travel agent side of it. So it's interesting. It's interesting what definitely comes up. Boxer, late as usual. What's going on? No, never late. You're never late, man. We're just hanging out, just talking about Rakuten and stuff and whatever else. Matthias, what would you like / expect to see as a welcome offer for the Sapphire Reserve when and if and when it gets the rumored refresh? Yeah, I mean, if that refreshes, I'd be all for it. Absolutely. For the welcome offer, I mean, I don't see. I wouldn't have a problem with 100K. I know some people are calling for 120, 150, 200. I'm not too worried about that. I mean, I get the annual fee. I get the annual fee of $800, but if they just can't, I mean, I guess there has been 100K on the CSR in the past at the current level. Maybe I'm too lenient. Maybe I'm too forgiving. Screw it. I want 120. So, screw it. At least 120, man. They can make that happen. I mean, look, they were able to give us last year a record high offer of the Ink Preferred at 120. I think it was there was an online and an in-branch offer. I mean, so if they can do Ink Preferred at 120, they can give us a Sapphire Reserve 120 at least, 150. I could see that now. Maybe I could see that. So 100, 120. 120 is my minimum, I guess. But I'd be lying to you if I said if I saw 100K and my 4 years was up that I wouldn't apply for it. 100K is 100K. It's pretty good. So I wouldn't be I wouldn't feel bad about it, to be honest. So absolutely. MR became a YouTube member. I never know how to feel about this, but well, thank you, MR, for doing that for me and a YouTube member. It's the funniest thing because if you look, literally just check my memberships, look at what I offer you. Nothing. Absolutely nothing. Absolutely nothing is what you get for it. But thank you, MR. I appreciate that for being here, man, and for joining that. It definitely means a lot. Absolutely. Let's see. Yeah. MR. I appreciate you, man. Oh god. I'm gonna have to make like one members video, one members only video one day. Just be like, hey guys, I don't know what we're doing here, but we're here. It's so funny. Oh Lord. Am I moving slow? Oh god, someone's got to time check me soon. Oh Lord. Let me move a little faster. Lambert, you found like a Cat 4 in Hyatt. Very nice. Very nice. Heck yeah, man. Just hope it doesn't get devalued, but then you're good. Mr. Potato says, does the MasterCard portal bill you directly or do you get billed directly by the hotel? Directly from the hotel. Yeah. So all they do is make the reservation for you. It's totally free. And you just pay cash. Well, you pay with the card at checkout, direct with the hotel. So yeah, codes all is the hotel. So you can stack. You can imagine how you can stack with it. Surprised by Cat 4s in Brooklyn. I never looked in Brooklyn before. I would love to look. Let me see what kind of stuff they got there. Ian says Japan had a great option in Tokyo at the Hyatt House, the washer dryer unit. Cat 5 now. See, it's like everything, man. It's so hard to find a real good Cat 4. I had to book one friggin' near me, with it. I mean, I actually think it's going to be a good stay, but I couldn't use it anywhere else. Oh, Hyatt Place in Queens. Cool. We'll skip ahead. I see some folks are talking amongst. Boxing New York City is only expensive if you go to popular spots. Definitely. Ian says New York City is trash. Living there was my worst 2 years. Oh my goodness. Oh Lord. Yeah, man, I hear you. I hear you, Ian. I never lived in New York City, but I lived in Staten Island. So for sure. So you should host a New York City creator meetup. New York City would be a good spot. That'd be interesting. Oh, we can go to my first date I ever had with my wife, right on top of the Marriott in Times Square. The Marriott had the View revolving rooftop restaurant. It was the first date we ever went on. Maybe we can go back one day. Boxer says everyone's leaving New York. I came back a little zero interest in leaving. Hey man, listen, you don't know South Carolina, man. South Carolina, it's the way. So many New Yorkians out here. I hear you. Sylvia's trying to get out. Oh my God. We're all trying to leave. Angel, hey, if the rumor CSR comes true, will you get it? It'll be a keep a card for me. I'll definitely get it for a year. I think to try out, have fun with the credits, the edit credits, absolutely. The StubHub credits, the dining credits. Yeah, I would get it for a year. Get the cool, 120K minimum welcome offer, and then get rid of it afterwards, I would say. Definitely. But yeah, I don't know if I don't think it'll be a keeper card personally. I just can't. I wouldn't be able to foot the bill of 800 just year after year. But I'll definitely get it for a year for the heck of it. Yeah, I think that'd be great. Great points, great credits, definitely. For me, I know I'm the only one who says it has great credits and stuff, but you know, everyone else they don't travel that way. Ian, Roosevelt was not a nice hotel. 100% not worth wasting points. I wouldn't say it's not nice. I just think it's not. Well, it's not. I mean, I guess it's still kind of Waldorf level esque, but I get it. It's not on the same level as some other crazy ones for sure. But I wouldn't say. I would say it's definitely worth a $200-300 cash price. I mean that breakfast there was very good. Man, hanging out there was great. The on-site restaurant was really good. Giant gym. The area, the area is it's kind of pushed away from the riffraff. It's not bad. Hey man, listen, I walked in and they just gave me some beignets. Like it was a pretty good experience. I actually liked it. I think it was okay. The views are terrible, but and the rooms are kind of like whatever. There's like nothing special about the rooms, but like the lobby is nice and all that. But I hear you. It's definitely not. That's why the cash price is so low. It's 200 or 300. It's not double that. Absolutely. Philmo says, just yeah, absolutely. I would definitely pay cash all day long with that place. Nico says Conrad Bora Bora is still 120K. Surprised didn't hit with a deval. Yeah, I'm surprised actually. Yeah, all those Maldive-esque hotels got devalued are going to get devalued pretty soon. So yeah, I'm surprised. It's a good point. Kijona, IHG Vacation Clubs just offered me $199 for stay in New Orleans. Or New Orleans, but they would credit me back $199 after doing the timeshare presentation. So it would be free. Should I do it? I mean, look, if you're just looking to like get a free stay, and I don't know if they're offering you any points. I mean, I know sometimes they'll offer some points and stuff. You could probably even like call them and be like, listen, I'm gonna need some points on top of this. I've done that with Hilton. They offer me like very similar stuff. Like, yeah, 199, we'll give you 199 back, and then we'll give you 15K Hilton points, or maybe sometimes more. So maybe you can hassle with them, see if you can get more out of it. Would I do? I mean, I feel like, oh, I want to go to New Orleans. What can I do? And like this just came up. I would say, yeah, I would say go for it. I think Sledge been doing the timeshare with IHG. He said, he could probably tell you how that experience is, but I don't think they're really that bad, to be honest. Absolutely. Agreed on the Roosevelt. Absolutely. Oh wow, yeah, I'm going to Rome for lunch and dinner tomorrow, then back to Boston. Oh my goodness. It's 1:10. Oh Lord. Ian, 11 p.m. Jeez, you're killing it. Texas says Greece must be boring. Ian's watching YouTube again. Text. Oh goodness. Yeah. No, Ian's having a good time. He's sharing pictures in the Discord and stuff and having a good time. Let's see here. Filmo, yeah, me and Filmo, Mr. Luke, and what's Daniel doing? Us four, us four all in on the CSR, if it comes true. So funny. Let's see here. Wow, Ian can never sleep on vacation. It's 11 p.m. here. Just got back to the hotel. Just sit here and twiddle my thumbs until I fall asleep at some point. There's been. I'll just say, full disclosure, there have been many men who have fallen asleep listening to me, and I'm gonna leave it at that. I'll just leave it there. Anyway, I've actually literally had commenters be like, "Oh, Anthony, I fell asleep watching you last night." I was like, "Wow, that's kind of crazy." And it's what I do. I'll watch people and they'll fall asleep. So I got you, Ian. After the skinny dipping, it's fine. Mr. Potato says, I was told at a Hilton that Amex travel bookings show as Expedia in addition to being an Amex booking. Yeah, and it's like that happened once, and sometimes it didn't. And then so it's just funny. It's just funny how it comes up. I remember the first time I saw that, I was like, Expedia. I said, what? Such as y'all love Chase too much. It gives them no incentive to give great offers. I mean, I don't know. It's like as much as you say that the credit card creators or whoever, you always have told me in the past, you don't like when people put prediction videos out there because then, Chase will watch and then maybe but then you also say, it gives them no incentive. I guess they are watching, right? I guess if that's true, then, maybe that's why. Maybe we just love Chase so much and that's why they'll never change the cards. And then I think that makes sense. Yeah, maybe. You never know. I think they have some good points, but I don't know. Are they really making moves based on the credit card community? I don't know. I don't know. I couldn't. I just don't know. I mean, although technically on the back end, this is a good point because they are the only ones on the back end kind of going, well, they're not the only ones. Capital One and Chase on the back ends of you guys have seen like some other creators and stuff, being like I don't know, they're like Blue Bank and all that stuff. Yeah, you can't really talk about them if you're gonna share like some of those like affiliate links, like the back end links. So I guess they're really cracking down. So I mean, obviously like super on top of the media that's put out there. But they all do it. All of them have their own little audits that we see on the back end. If you're a part of these affiliates, like, you know, like all of them, like Amex and Capital One and Chase and all that, they have these little audits. So they definitely watch some stuff. So yeah, maybe Sled, you're right. Maybe you're right about that actually. That's a good point. Um, just messing with you. Anthony, not what? Pox says Anthony Venture Project, not Venture Card. The seems to have worked 100%. Will arrive and okay, so very nice, nice. So you moved your what was that Spark? What the hell was it called again? Something plus. I don't know. I don't think it was a Spark Cash Plus. You said it was some other name, but you moved it to the Spark Miles, which I thought was pretty interesting. It sucks that freaking Capital One Spark Miles counts towards 524. I thought it was just like the Spark Cash Plus. But you said, and then I read online that some people said that like basically it seems like all the Spark cards, the Capital One Spark cards, the business ones do count towards your 524. I had thought it was just one of them, but it seems like all the Spark ones. That's kind of annoying because that actually is not a bad card to pick up. Like that Spark Miles, it's 2x on everything, but you spend 4,500, you get 50,000 Capital One miles. It's like it's not that bad. It's pretty similar to the Venture, or Venture X welcome offer, right? Obviously drastically different card, but for the points, it's interesting, definitely. And Mars says I joined just so I could give memberships, but I can't even do that. I don't know, is there a thing like you can't? I don't know how it works. Don't do it though. This is what I said yesterday. Do not gift memberships. Don't do any of that stuff. It literally, I don't give you anything. I don't have anything special. It's no point to it. No point to it. Absolutely. Just hang out. That's all. That's all I ask. Dr. Sledge, I found out yesterday, upgrade, downgrade does not work with Capital One. You can upgrade, but you cannot go back down. Definitely on the Spark, on that side for sure. Very interesting. What the? I walked the 8 feet to my computer because I couldn't do it on my phone while I'm watching on a projector screen. Whoa, Anthony Venture, big time. Let's go. Absolutely. That's funny. Talking about cash prices, Michael AV pulling a sled. Oh no, Sledge will never catch a break. He'll never catch a break for it's so unjustified because they talk about him being super late to the chat, but everybody's late to the chat. Everybody who does it, even as fast as I talk, I'm still super late a lot of the times. Joe and Sledge, but Sledge always gets known as the time check. So funny. What's going on, Merds? How's the channel going, man? How's everything going with the YouTube and all that? Hang with the fam. Can't wait to watch this back later. Honestly, like first 10 minutes and then like skip ahead, baby. But I appreciate you. I appreciate it. Interesting. Jay Carlos. If oh my god, wait, Sledge. It's a community trait. Oh my goodness. Everybody in the community is very late to the chats. That's right. That's a good point. Yeah, it is true. Carlos says, if rumor CSR is true, the sub needs to go to record high levels for Chase. I mean, I'd love that. I would love it. You know what? Screw it. Sledge is right. Sledge is right. Let's start from now on. I will no longer say I'm okay with 120K. We're now changing our opinion. Now we want minimum 150,000 points. They can make it happen. They can make it happen. All right, Chase, if you're watching, listen, we want 150K, and you'll have a lot of us apply. We'll all pay that annual fee. You'll make some money on that, so you'll be fine. But we want 150. 120 is no longer an option. Sorry, we've spoken. We have spoken. Super Sal. Anthony, what's been your worst hotel stay? I wonder if I could. I wish I had. Because I always bring up the same one. I wish I had a different one that was bad. A different one that was as bad as that. Because ever since then, I've been really a lot. I used to never check reviews. Like I used to just look at the pictures online and I would say, "Oh, it looks pretty cool," and then I just book it. I never used to. Now I just read reviews, so I just never end up in a bad place. Lately, knock on wood. Um, yeah, I'm trying to think. Was there really any? Because it was like the in between time of going from all lower end stays like Hampton Inns and booking a lot of Garden Inns and Trues, and then like Marriott Courtyard, like all those, and those are all you expect like whatever they give you. It's a lower end type of stay in most places unless you're like in the city. But for at least where we were going, a lot of upstate New Yorks and a lot of like surrounding areas in tri-state area. Those are all like what you expect, but I guess once you get a little bit further, once you have some points, then you have access to some like weird hotels. So like, I'll just say, I guess the worst one you guys have heard it before. I've trashed them so many different times in the last 2 years, but the Lexington, Kentucky Campbell House Curio Collection, trash, absolutely trash. The TLDR is, we went in there late at night. The people could not figure out how to get us to our room. They had to draw a map on how we can figure out how to get to our room. Still got lost. Hallways looked like it was out of The Shining with the little girls that were there. Damp. Everything was damp. A lot of humidity in the hotel. Mold in our room. We ended up getting sick. Stayed for 6 hours. I told them I don't want to stay here anymore. They ignored me. Then I called like Hilton Corporate or whatever. They eventually said, all right, whatever. And then they refunded me like 160,000 points. And I slept there that night and we got sick the next day. So so Campbell House, the Campbell House is the worst. And I don't think is that slanderous. I don't know. It's my personal opinion on the stay. Maybe it's not the worst for everybody, but I'm not with it. I'm not with the Campbell House. No way. And it looked nice. It's like a night, it looks old and has like horses in front. Like Sin loves her horses. So that's the worst one. Absolutely. Texas Dog, don't forget to click the like button. Appreciate you, Texas. Appreciate you, man, for being here. Yeah, don't stay stay there if you want, but I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't. Yeah, I don't know. And the problem is too, is I'm like, by nature, my optimism dial is like turned all the way up. So I usually like even bad stays for some, like Ian said earlier, like Ian said that the Waldorf in New Orleans, that Roosevelt is like, not a nice hotel. I was like, I actually kind of like it. So I feel like my perceptions are also kind of skewed to like usually optimizing for like decent places. It's just like I'm always like, oh, that's okay, it's decent. So that's how bad that one definitely is. But it depends on you. It depends on you, I think. IHG 10x Rakuten, powerful, absolutely. Takes out anywhere experience at Kimpton, the one in San Antonio looks nice. Yeah, I know Sledge got a lot of Kimpton experience. I never stayed at one. They look very nice though. I always hear great things. Ian says 125 to 200K is what it has to be, especially after what? Yeah. But now, no, minimum 150 now. Now we're at minimum 150. Dennis, AV, the timeshare killer. LOL. I can't wait. My next, probably by next week at this time, next Sunday. Actually, no, next Sunday. Maybe the Sunday after. I'll probably be able to finish and get the video done for the Hilton timeshare. We're gonna be going pretty soon, so I'm trying to be, I'm trying to kill that timeshare. We'll have fun with it. We'll have fun with it. And while I'm there, I'm really gonna try. I'm really gonna try to get another timeshare package while I'm there. I want 100K Hilton and give me a stay in Hawaii or something. I will buy that. I will absolutely buy it. So we'll see. We'll see. What's going on, Daniel? It's popping man. Sledge, yeah, the Kimpton. He's the Kimpton King right now. It's highly recommended. Angel, Ren Hill. Any idea how to get a discount with Airbnb? So I would say, so with Airbnb, as far as like actually discounting the stay, because a lot of people will tell you like, the best cards for that and all that. I think probably without thinking too much into it, you can obviously find like at Target, they always have Airbnb gift cards. So you can just use that to book your stays and you can just pay with your Target, red card or Target debit card. And you'll get 5% off. So like that's at minimum 5% discount on Airbnb. However, let's check on Rakuten. Man, it's been so long since I booked some Airbnbs. In the past, I actually used so they have nothing right now for Airbnb, but VRBO does. So Verbo has 10x online. So, I mean, technically, this could be 10% cash back if you don't have Amex cards, or just 10x back, via Rakuten. If you have an Amex earning, MR earning card, instead of Airbnb, maybe opt into VRBO, Verbo, and get your 10%. That actually would be better. I would prefer that versus the 5% off at Target, or 5% back somewhere else. So yeah, I guess off the top of my head, I would say those are probably what I would end up doing if I had to. Um, and then whatever card will end up coding for Airbnb. Does the Wells Fargo autograph code Airbnb as travel 3x? We know the Amex Green does at 3x. But as far as like cards to use, actually Daniel Sparks just did a video recently on best cards for Airbnbs and stuff. So yeah, that's probably what I would think off the bat. Any other tricks that you guys think of? I mean, in general, not just creators, so everybody. So that's what I'm saying. So now we have to start saying everybody 150K. Say it with me, 100. Absolutely. Chad's Money Minutes. Yo, it's Papa Chad. Chad's Money Minutes. Always killing it. Always traveling. Phil Moses, chase cards are mostly trash after the sub. Yeah, man, we just want some welcome bars. But it's so crazy. It's so crazy though, because it's like I've never believed I would have said this, but like the Sapphire Preferred is my daily card now. I said in the Discord yesterday, I was like, how did that happen? How did my Sapphire Preferred become a daily driver? It doesn't even make sense. Well, actually, perfect timing, because Chad and his online grocery trick with the Publix, and you could do it, Walmart if you have the membership, and you could do it at Kroger's, pay in store, get your 3x online groceries in store. So I just use that for all my groceries and all my dining out, 3x back, and I just use the Sapphire Preferred for all that. It's hilarious. Never thought that would be a card that I would just use always, and I have canceled almost everything else. So, we got more to cancel too. Boxes, Spark Miles Select. Yeah, that one. Yes. Yeah, you were probably getting like 1.25 or something. Now you bumped up to 2x. Yeah, absolutely. Shingiro, did you get the 180K Marriott offer? No. If you're talking about the, I don't know, you're talking about the Brilliance. It was like 185 or something. No. The time for me to go for Marriott it's not here yet. It's not here yet. Maybe next year. I keep saying maybe next year for Marriott, and something else comes up. There is some interesting ones that I want to, book though. Now that I'm like talking about Japan, and I'm like starting to, I have some hotels booked, and I got some flights booked. I'm like, I see some really nice ones that are Marriott's. I'm like, man, I don't have any. I don't have any Marriott. In fact, I had 6,000 Marriott points, and they actually just expired the other day. I was like, God damn it, I can't do anything right. Yeah, I just never used them. It was actually, oddly enough, we talked about earlier, my Marriott stay with FHR that coded as Expedia, but I did get some points for it. That was like 6,000 points that I earned from that. Maybe something else. Expired worthless. Haven't used them in 2 years. Unbelievable. Yeah. So Box says all business Capital One cards go to your personal and go towards your 524. Is that true? No, I don't. I think the Venture. Yeah. So technically, I love VentureX, but it does not report to my personal. Yeah, I think the VentureX business does not, but I think all the Sparks do. At least I didn't know all of the Sparks did, but that's good to know that I guess all of them. But yeah, I think the VentureX business doesn't. Emer says subprime lenders act as subprime. Should we be surprised? Philip, what's going on? Phil, points of Philip. Howdy, friends. Hell yeah. MR, I'll enjoy that. Thank you. The fastest sub to unsub ever. Thank you, MR. Appreciate it. So funny. Yeah. Essentially, I thought about the Spark, but I'll most likely get denied. You really think so? Damn. Yeah, I hear that. These custom emojis are lit. Yeah, they're really kind of secretive. I have like some secret ones in there. It's so funny. Stupid ones I have. Michael, well, my worst hotel stay was a free stay from Choice Hotels. Really? Tell us more. How was it free? Was it a timeshare? We got thank you again, Texas Dog and MR and John. Appreciate you guys. And also Ian from before we even went live, like 30 hours ago, he did a 5 spot, and then Mike Newland did a 20 spot, like 20 hours ago or something. So much appreciated, you guys. Absolutely. Okay. Did I just miss something? Oh, I missed a lot. What the hell? Fun. Hey, bro, I jumped in fast. I need some help. Can I figure out life for me how to move my Blue Cash Amex dollars for platinum points? Can I please get some help? Yeah, so you cannot move cash to points, unfortunately. Yeah, you're not able to. So everything you got on your blue cards, blue cashes, you cannot move them over. They do not allow you. That sucks a lot. It's one of the huge limitations with those cards. That's why almost nobody talks about them, at least in our community, for sure. And as Phil says, yes. Lynn says, my worst hotel stay was a Hampton in China. The room was like a furnace. Carpets smelled musty and breakfast was terrible. Oh my goodness. Hey man, no matter where you go, I will die on this hill. No matter where you go, Hampton Inns are trash. Some people get upset with me, but they're like, well, I have a Hampton Inn in downtown Manhattan. It's like 1,000 a night. I'm like, yeah, well, look where you are, man. Look where you are. Go to your average Hampton Inn. Again, go online, type in Hampton Inn bedbugs. There is a website dedicated to people who get bedbugs only at Hampton Inns. All right. I will die on the hill, even though I've enjoyed Hampton Inns over my time too, as well. It's so funny. So I stayed in a married, can't remember where, but no matter what I put the tip on, it stayed 51. Oh God. See, I've not been in one that like the AC wasn't working. I don't think at all, like heat or I don't, unless I tend to forget all the beds too, which is kind of a problem in some cases. But I tend to forget all. I don't think I've ever been one though that's that bad. I don't remember. That's so funny though. Anthony Destroyer. Oh my goodness. No, my worst hotel stay is La Foresta in Caracas, Venezuela. Brick wall behind sliding closet door. Oh my goodness, that's like all the movies and stuff. Like, oh, I have such a great view. Uh, open the curtain. It's just a brick wall. It's like what $50 gets you somewhere. That's funny. There he is. Yeah, that's always going from Philip Stuggy to Points of Philip. Lynn's driving. It's too bad I can't see this. I only see it as the MR. I can't. I actually, man, you guys can probably see the emojis, but I can't. I just see the words. Damn. But I never understood the appeal. I like it. I used to love Airbnbs. I used to do them exclusively before the Points of Miles came, and we always ended up in very eclectic places. I'll just say, like, decently cheap prices. This was before the cleaning fees and excess fees and stuff like that. They were nice places, easy to book online. Obviously all cash. Yeah, it was just they were cheap alternatives, and I liked it because you could often get them really close to certain. Like we used to go. I remember there was this one that we loved in Lake George in upstate New York, and there was the small town, maybe a 30-minute drive from there. It was called Mechanicsville, and we found this really nice Airbnb, like a lot of horse decor. There used to be like horse riders and stuff in that house. There was like an upstairs place, and it was like it was like a loft basically. It was like a big room, nice bed, and that actually, fun fact, that was the day when we stayed there. I actually applied for the Amex screen and I got an extra wallet in the same trip. I don't know why, but that was nice. That was nice back then. Yeah, that was my first extra wallet. Um, but I don't know. You end up in really interesting places. We ended up in one in Connecticut that had like demons. There was like weird sculptures and stuff, and it was like a witch town or something. Then we did another one that we ran away from in upstate New York, and they had like sculptures of like weird stuff. And I've talked about that one before. And yeah, it's definitely I don't know, you just end up in funny. I've done Airbnbs in Florida. My first ever like trip with my wife. We went to Florida. We booked an Airbnb for like 7 nights. It was only like $700, very cheap. It had a pool, it had a whole backyard, it was a whole lake. It was right in Winter Garden, Orlando. It was so nice. I was like, it's a different experience than a hotel. And I will say, actually, it was hot in there. All he had was a fan. There was no real AC, which I think is a problem. But it was a mother-in-law suite. That was nice. That was real. That was a really nice hotel. And he was, Airbnb. And the guy was cool. His name was Ernie. And we actually hung out with him a little bit. He was he was like basically a quick tour guide for some areas. So yeah, I think Airbnbs you can have like it's a wild card. I'll say the wild card appeal is why I loved it. We actually stayed in one. Now that you got me on the topic, we did stay in an Airbnb once in Cape May, New Jersey, And it was actually basically a hostel, I guess is what you would call it, because you went upstairs and there was like 4 different rooms. So like we just had our own room, and then somebody there was like a middle common area with like a TV and stuff. But I was like, I'm surprised we did that back then. You know, it was close. It was very close to where we wanted to go, and yeah, it's a fun stay. Ah, the memories making me think about those times. Definitely. Texas Dog, we need a new video on the best cards to pay. I just did one. Come on, man. Honestly, the best card for taxes is just one that you know, when you welcome offer. You know, you got a welcome offer on. Absolutely. Definitely. That's the way. That's the way to do it. Get a welcome offer, you know, and pay that. You know, and I think yeah, like 3 live streams ago, I think I talked about maximizing for taxes, like, you know, your HOA payments and all that. But like some people talk about the quarterly taxes and stuff. And I think I mentioned like the only reason you pay quarterly for the most part is either for better bookkeeping or less hassle at the end of the year, or just because you do it because you're going to owe more than $1,000 in taxes to the IRS at the end of the year. So you pay that because you get a penalty if you owe more than 1,000 by the end of the year. So you pay a certain amount per quarter just so you're under that 1,000 threshold, so you don't get penalized. But you could just wait. You know, you just wait quarters and quarters, and then just lump sum it at the end. So if you have like, you know, a couple grand in quarterly taxes that you've been saving up, you could just put that all on a card and hit the welcome offer. So it's like, yeah, something we talked about that time. Phil says, I'm with you. I don't clean my own house. I'm sure not cleaning someone. You don't clean your own house? Who's the help? Phil, you got some help? Michael Wong, the free hotel stay was points earned from a timeshare. Sad to say it was in Tokyo. 8K points. Room is super small. Enough room to sleep. Oh, wow. Jeez. Oh, Lord. That's kind of crazy. Dennis, I'd love to see Sledge's credit report with inquiries. Oh, Lord. Yeah, Sledge does not. He's not interested. He is not interested in inquiries at all. It does not matter. And honestly, I'm with him. I just haven't, you know, built it up as much, but I'm with him there. Absolutely. So funny. Lynn's got about that. MR, I use way too much cologne for Hampton bed bugs to bother with me. Oh my goodness. All the Versace, a bunch of Versace cologne, and the bed bugs stay at bay. It must be a saying, like, you know, apple a day, you know, a spray of Versace keeps the bed bugs away. I don't know, something like that. Yeah, I could see that. I could see that. Devil Cruise Hamptons go stale after 3 years. That's a perfect way to put it. That's a perfect way. That is a perfect way to put it. Stale, absolutely stale after 3 years. Yes. Oh my goodness, it's so funny. That's so freaking funny. Mike Long, I was in New Hampshire a while ago. I had choice between Hampton and DoubleTree. And I wonder which one I chose. Oh Lord. I mean, you got the DoubleTree with the free cookies, man. You got to. Philmo says 100 minutes and still waiting on the SEATS.AERO talk. All right. I really messed this up. Usually I will go, I won't even look at the chat. I'll do like my whole topic, but I had 2 topics today. So I messed up, and then, you know, I'm just talking, just having fun with you guys. So let's get into it then. Let's get into the SEATS.AERO talk. Let me readjust. Okay. Now this is my biggest mistake. Maybe it's not the biggest one, but I'll say this. Again, SEATS.AERO is something that people have been telling me for the past maybe year. And I'm just so slow to adopt things. I really don't know what my problem is, but like, I just have to have someone convince me, and then eventually I do it. I now pay for the subscription to SEATS.AERO, and unequivocally, like, as tight fisted as I am on cash, as much as I don't want to pay anything, you know, I think a lot of us are like, you know, we want to save as much as we can. This tool is like the best. It is the best investment I could have ever asked for, because it did a few things. Not only, obviously, like the best thing is like it allowed me to book some crazy flights for next year. Not only it did that, but it changed my mind. It changed my whole world. It changed the whole credit card game for me, because, and I'll show some examples in a second, but SEATS.AERO is essentially a platform. Here, I'll just pull it up, whatever. Is a platform that you can in one click of a button, find every single program in every single airline that's going to any single destination that you want to go to. And this is good for a couple of reasons. So I was looking, I was looking for a friend around this time. So I just have this pulled up. So if you're unfamiliar with some of these airlines, essentially this is what Seats.AERO is. If you have the free version, which you can do a free version, it's only good. You can only search out for like the next 60 days. So if you want to find cool flights or redemptions, crazy things, you can search out for 60 days. If you pay $10 a month, which I do, and I do have a referral down below, just but it's not, that's not why we're here. I'm here to help. If I can, if you have the paid version, then you can search out, like a year out. You could do, a full year and out. So then that allows you to, book a year out, which is when a lot of these good flights actually do come out, as I've learned. So in this case, this is NRT. So this is Narita, Japan, Haneda, and Osaka. And this is going to Chicago, JFK, and San Francisco. So, and these are the dates that we're picking. Okay, so these are the airports that we want to fly from. These are the airports we want to fly to. This is the date, and right here is you can add plus or minus 14 days, 7 days, whatever it is. So it'll show you everything from the 12th to the 5th and the 19th if we do 7, something like that. Why I have this one pulled up is because, well, I should say the reverse. This is how I was able to book ANA business class, not once, but actually twice on 2 separate flights going to and from. I was able to book ANA business class. And the reason I picked these specific routes is because I watched Chase Yokoyama's video, and I'll tie it all together in a second. But I watched Chase Yokoyama's video on how to book ANA. The room is like, so YouTubeable. Everybody wants to go in the room. So I found out these are the routes that they go on. Usually they're out, around 330 to 355 days out. So probably right around these times, something like that. Well, actually, we're a little later, actually. So like we're, let's say May 5th. So then you hit search, and then you'll hit business, and it'll show you every single flight that can get you there. So now very often you'll see 90,000 for business class for Japan Airlines right here. That's Japan Airlines. And you can see the program. So essentially all the way on the left side here. And again, this is just like Rakuten. I'm preaching to the choir. If you guys know this already, cool. But I was late to the game, so I'm assuming other people are. But this changed my life, I think. So the program all the way on the left, it says Qantas. This is the points that you need to book the flight that's right next to it. So if you see this, everything, it looks kind of confusing. You're like, okay, so I need Qantas. That's it. That's the idea. So if I have 90,000 Qantas miles, you can book this Japan Airlines flight in business class. And that's everything. When you search on here, it's just one way, one ticket. So that's 90,000 per person one way. It's not round trip. So just so you know. Now that's not a great redemption. You could find 60K or a little bit less, but 60K via American Airlines and Alaska. And so you can search by program. And so this is how it changed for me. Because once you can start seeing like all the different types of redemptions, like you could see here, EVA Air, you can book with Air Canada. So Aeroplan, 87,500 per ticket one way. So you can fly from Chicago over to Narita. And if you look right here, you can see what the layover is. So it's 29 hours. So there's a layover in Taipei and Taiwan because EVA Air is a Taiwanese airline. So what this kind of changed for me is like I didn't know any of that. I didn't know any of this. All you got like Chad and Sled and Luke and all these people who do these crazy flights, they know these airlines. They know the points programs that connect to it. They know the alliances. But I'm pretty much a layman up until I really found this because, well, now you can see it in real time. You're like, oh, I want to fly this specific plane. Like in this case, ANA, I wanted to fly. Basically, it's very hard to find, and you have to just search every single day. And I don't mean on here, but I mean like wake up the next morning, 10 a.m. Okay, hit search again. Okay, cool. So business, nothing. Okay, cool. Next day, do it again, do it again. And that's how I was able to book ANA. Is I just kept going until I saw it here. But then sometimes, because this is not a perfect system, you'll see a flight that exists here and it doesn't actually exist on the platform. So I saw it was like Air Canada, 75K ANA direct ORD to Narita. And then I went on the Air Canada website. Bam, it existed and it exists. And then I booked it. So you have to just not like I wouldn't just see, oh, it's a good deal, transfer the points and then go. Make sure it exists first on the actual website of the thing. And some people are confused. Some people are asking like, how do you find it? Like I said earlier, the main thing is the one all on the left. These are the points that you need. So if I wanted to book and like basically any of these that you see right here, this is Air India, this is EVA Air. It's all with Air Canada. So if you go on Air Canada's website, you search for these dates, you will find that exact flight if it exists. So that's the idea. That's the idea with that. And then you can, you can search for return flights and stuff like that. But why it changed my life is like, one, I didn't know that any of these exist. So actually, look at this. This is ANA right here. This is business class. This is not the room though. Definitely not the room, because you could see that the number is NH837. Usually with this route, you'll see NH12, NH11. That's how you know it's kind of like possibly the room. But now you know, like, okay, this is the flight that I want. Like, I want this airline. I want this route. This is where I want to go. Now it's a very easy answer. It's one, I just have to find that availability, and two, I need that currency. So like, if you already know that's definitely the flight that you want to take, you're dead set on it. You know nothing's going to change. Okay, you can transfer like I did. I transferred 175,000 Chase points to Aeroplan, and that's how I was able to book the two ANA flights. I had it already in there. I knew it exists on this program. And so now that's kind of changed my life to where I'm like, now there's other places that I want to fly to. It's like, let's see, I was searching for a friend recently. I was trying to see, okay, how do you get to Hawaii from like the Northeast? Like if you're flying out of Newark or JFK. If you're just trying to fly economy, okay, cool. United's 25K per ticket with 560 in taxes. I mean, that's easy money. If you're trying to fly economy, obviously, if you're trying to fly, more, you can click on some of these. 90K in United, is it worth it? I don't know, but I'm just looking at it. I'm like, okay, cool. So now I know if I want it as cheap as possible, I can book it with Aeroplan or United. So it's just obviously these are just like pretty layman examples and stuff like that. Even look at this, Charlotte to London that I was looking at recently. You can, I'll see if I refresh. Yeah, you can do for 19,000 in economy. You can fly direct Charlotte to London, 19,000 points per ticket, 560. So it's like, I think you guys understand, like if you have not done this already, and I know there's other sites too, I'm using Seats for right now. But if you guys have never tried this, this is why it's changed my life, because now I know for the particular flights that I want, I could just get that currency. Now I know, okay, Alaska also does that. Okay, maybe I can get Alaska. Maybe I transfer some Amex to, Hawaiian before it ends on June 30th, right? Now I know I want that flight, transfer the Amex to Hawaiian, Hawaiian to Alaska, and then I can book that said flight, which is right there. So, again, preaching to the choir, but this is what I learned recently, and it's changed my whole life. Just because now it's so much more clear and what's important to me. It's like I talked about in a recent video, I wanted to book Japan Airlines business class coming home next year. Okay, I found out that AA does Japan Airlines, home pretty easily. Yeah, I could probably find it if I just search differently dates. So let's see. So usually 2 weeks out, Japan Airlines, as Michael Wong has taught me, they will have some good award availability. So let's search. And usually we're 2 weeks out from today. Bam, we have we have some JetBlue. Somebody said that this is wrong, and this JetBlue to book Japan Airlines is not 59K. I'm not sure, but I know for sure 60,000 per seat American Airlines, or 75K per seat Japan Business, Alaska Airlines. So I'm like, okay, now I just know. I just need to get Alaska, or I just need to get American Airlines. What did I apply for recently? Well, I actually have them sitting on my desk right now, but I applied for the AA Barclays Aviator card and the City AA card, because I'm like, AA is the cheapest way to get that done. That's how I can get it done. It's changed the whole game for me. On top of that, also, I think a lot of people aren't using this, but Rooms.AERO. So they have the hotels as well that you can find, ones in certain areas. So I was like, okay, what's another bucket list place? I was like, okay, in Kyoto, I don't think it'll show up because there's no award availability, but in Kyoto they have the Park Hyatt, which is like, the hardest thing to book in the world. It seems like, and Michael Wong has said that as well, and a lot of people. So I was like, oh, I really want to book that for next year. That would be amazing. So I just went and I created an alert. So you just hit an alert, and you could only, I think you could only do this. Actually, oh yeah, you could do the email alert on the free version. If you have the paid version, then you can have them text you. So literally, like last week, I got a text saying, "Oh, Park Hyatt's open for these dates that you want," because you can set the dates, in standard room, how many points per night. Bam, jumped on it, and I got the redemption. So it's like, ah. So many years have I spent doing things the wrong way, the hard way. And it was bad because it was like I made a video like a month ago that was like, oh, thinking about the Sapphire Reserve because whatever, points and through the portal. Had I just had this program that showed me the light of like, oh, this is a lot easier. Like this is a lot easier for like a beginner of the international travel game to kind of think about in your mind, like, okay, these are the airlines, these are the currencies I need for these airlines. And then you can kind of work backwards from there and which cards to apply for, which cards to use in your everyday spend to accumulate as much as possible. So yeah, it's changed everything for me. So I just, for everybody who has not been on board with that, I wanted to also share that with you. So Rakuten and SEATS.AERO, things that I should have been doing for years, and I've and I've only recently have been doing it. So so that's only recently. So that's hopefully that helps. I hope that's helps a subsection of people who are just like me, a little late to the game. Philip says you stayed in Winter Garden. That's my backyard. Hell yeah. um, let's see here. Bedbug sniffing dog, Texas. Damn, that's crazy. Um, Mike says, I'm seeing Japan stuff for next year already gone by the time I even open the alert. Yeah, so the alert, so it depends what you're looking for. If you're looking for like, yeah, ANA, the room, the ANA of the room, that I've never been able to get an alert where someone didn't take it in time. So that's where it takes like kind of seeing when the alert goes off. So I noticed the alert was going off. Well, actually, a lot of the times going off like 3 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, but then also sometimes at like 1 p.m. And usually for an airline that seems like that busy, like everybody wants ANA business direct. It's booked immediately, and it seems like the alerts are like 3 hours too late. So like I just kind of worked backwards from there, and I realized that basically between 10 and 1 p.m. is when I was finding it. And there was a time where every day I found ANA business direct for every day, and I booked a couple of them. I was like, wow, this is crazy, But it's like I wouldn't have learned that if it wasn't for the alerts. It wasn't checking these sites every single day. Michael Wong, again, I'll say him again, say his name 3 times, he appears. He was telling me, he was like, how he booked his was he would just check every time he ate food. So like breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Every time he ate, he would check again. And I think that's what it takes for those really busy routes. Some of them, obviously, you don't. You don't need to go that hard, but like for those crazy ones, it seems like that's what you need. So yeah, it's great. So that's my spiel on that. I hope that makes sense. Let me see here. Fun uses SEATS.AERO in Rome. Yeah, I've been hearing more about Rome. It can also search by country too. That's absolutely. I love that. That's cool. That's definitely, I like that. Angels and let me see. Juan Garcia, a welcome gift to the 8. Wow, thank you, Juan. Appreciate you, sir. That's it's gonna pay. Listen, it's gonna pay the. You know what? Screw it. Let's do it. It's gonna pay the annual fee on the. Can I do this without leaking? Yeah, you know what? Take it off the paper. That's right, man. We got the Aviator out. The Aviator, the Barclays one. It's very nice. I'm gonna do a unboxing and talking through a couple other things with it pretty soon. But hell yeah, man! I got the Aviator, and then I got the Business City. I got the Business City as well. So very, very cool. Very, very cool. So I got those in the mail now. So I'm excited to get my one purchase, to get my 70,000 AA miles. I'm still trying to figure out what else I could do it on. What else would be funny? But thank you for that, Juan. I appreciate it, man. Thank you for being here and welcome me into the world of AA. I appreciate it. And it says, SEATS.AERO is amazing. It has a lot of hidden features, even to find visa requirements and how to apply on the official website. I didn't even know that. Wow. Very cool. Very, very cool. And yeah. Then it says American advertises the Barclays card at airports and Citi card on their website. That's interesting. Thanks again, Juan. And then let's see, and Angel. American Barclays cards might be discontinued next year. Same with Hawaiian. Get it while it lasts. Yeah, for sure. Definitely, it's why I got the Hawaiian card and I got the Barclays at least. Also because I needed the AA for the flights that we talked about earlier. But so yeah, that's definitely, absolutely. I think it's get into it. But EVA airline for Tokyo is a solid choice. I would love to, but it seems like it's extremely hard to get. It seems like it's extremely hard to get EVA Air, but 2 seats. That was a goal. I actually wanted to do that, but I just don't know if it's gonna be possible, so I switched it to Japan for 2 weeks out. Um, so I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I would love to book 2 seats, but it's like with the well, at least I should say with the currency that I have, the Air Canada, it seems like it's, like, very hard to get 2 seats. It seems like just 1, you know? I mean, I guess the same for ANA, right? I only booked 1 seat for each, but we'll see. Life on Earth, ANA and JL Premium Economy, a lot easier. Also gives you lounge access. Haneda has the best Delta Sky Club and will have Centurion soon. Can't wait. Good to know. Good to know. Yeah. So basically, yeah. It's we'll see. Yeah, because the ANA flights that I booked, they're both technically one's under me, one's under my wife. So I'm like, uh, I didn't. I have to book my seat. So if I get a premium or something, that'd be fine. I'd be happy with that if we can get anything. One says I purchased 50-cent noodles via Amazon from my Hawaiian bar. That's funny. Now that's a funny use. 50-cent noodles. Hmm. Might do something. Might do something silly like that for this Barclays. We'll see. That's funny. Mike says that's a good tip. I didn't realize there's a delay in alerts that you can search and find something before an alert would go out. Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of the times I've just realized like they seem to be 3 hours late. So I'm just like, and pretty like consistent. Like me, I've been going great like a month and a half every day. A month and a half every day. So I've been doing nothing but that. So I've become a fiend for at least those specific airlines for Japan. Some others too for Europe. So it's as far as like finding them and booking them, I've just been a fiend on doing it. So that's what I found is like, yeah, it was like 3 hours behind. And then, by the time you got the alert, it's already gone. So I just noticed like, okay, between 10 and 1 p.m., even like 2 p.m., um, it's like a few hours before that's when those classes kind of come out for those like busy airlines. Michael Long says, I found Lynn's ANA suite flight 2 hours before the alert came out. Yeah, look at that. That's the way it is. That's why I was so surprised. The Park Hyatt alert, like oh my goodness. Like I was, and when I was live on the Sapphire Reserve stream, yeah, I think it was the Sapphire Reserve stream. The night after that I wanted on the Park Hyatt, so I booked one night. I wanted the second one, came out while I was live. By the time I finished the live, it was gone. I was like, no. I was like, dang it, what the hell? God dang. But yeah. Yeah, actually, yeah, another interesting thing on that point there with seats is actually they have this pretty cool thing. I guess if you're someone who can like move around pretty fast. They have this little tools thing here. We could see a lot of different things, but this a lot of people like this ANA first class finder. So you can click on it. You can see where you can book ANA first class and what currency can get you there. And then what are the routes, obviously, of course, and it's throughout the whole year. So it looks like there's only like 10 options here. So like, this is Virgin. This is a Virgin Velocity, the Australia side of it. So 120K first. I guess United for 220K each. You can fly there July 28th, or D to Haneda. So if you click on that, it kind of shows you all the ones that are active currently. So it's pretty interesting. And actually on business, I didn't realize they'll show that too. What other tools they have? Yeah, they just have some interesting tools there. Oh yeah, I guess JL first class finder. Especially yeah, look at that, first class American, 90K, one seat on May 19th. Go book it. So it just seems so infinitely valuable. It's just like the ability to book all these things and like at least like the not crazy stuff. Um, you can find it on there and just be like, all right, there it is, boom. Now I know. Now I know what, and you learn the routes, you learn what currencies go to where, and then you just build up this database in your brain. It's like, okay, I've traveled to this place very often. These are the types of currencies I need. It's changed everything for me. Absolutely changed everything. Now I have a dilemma. LHR, London Heathrow, IED pays 18,000 Virgin points, economy plus 910 for 3 people, or London Heathrow Charles de Gaulle to ID for 45K plus 975. and stay in Paris for a few days. Oh, so what's your dilemma? Is it just like, are you just trying to, well, I guess your idea is spending more miles but paying a little bit more in taxes? Is that really, I mean, it's, you know, I mean, I get your idea, I guess, is, is that the worst thing to stay in Paris for a few days though? I will say there are times, so like I was looking at, I don't know if this is interesting to you guys, well, to you. Who's talking? And hell? Yeah, so Angel. Um, what was that? Where is it? Let me see if I can find. So I was looking at recently, let's see, I don't know when you're going. I don't think you said, right? No, you didn't say. Here's one thing that I would say, and maybe this, I don't know if this helps, but I'll just say it anyway because I saw it recently. Um, well, I'll just assume it's maybe, let's just say it's around then. So let's see, 14 days. So I noticed like Charlotte to London, like if that's your destination, you can get there extremely cheap, in your economy anyway. So yeah, I guess if you do an AA, you can fly there directly with very low taxes. So this is only 38,000 points for you to. Well, I guess I don't know how many people you have. I'm forgetting everything you say. 3 people. So it was that like yeah, close to 60,000. So with 57,000 points. So 57,000 AA can get you 3 one-ways to London, and you only have to pay 560 in taxes, or whatever, per. So that's not bad. So for that price, instead of paying the 900 plus, you could just pay the 560 times whatever. So I think that's not a bad option. And I believe even like coming home, you can do the similar thing. Yeah, exact same thing, kind of coming home, and then you can just find, okay, cool. So I've saved like, I don't know if that's round trip. I don't know if that's like 900 one way, or if it's 450 each. But then you just think about that, like those savings, maybe you can enjoy some time. And then you're just like, okay, then what's, Charlotte to IAD or something like that. You could probably get a really cheap, booking right there. So let's see, then you can get, then maybe you can, if you have United, you can do 10,000 each or whatever else is here. Let's see. You also have some American, you can do the same, or yeah. Any Alaska? It's got to be some Alaska, right? Oh, God. What is Alaska? Oh, nothing right now. Wow. What if you push it out a little bit? Oh, wow. Yeah, look at that. If it's like, oh, yeah, if it's like 10 days later, you can do 4,500 points, or 9K in business, but 4,500 Alaska to IAD. It's only an hour and a half flight, but whatever. So I don't know. I don't know if that helps you, but if you're like trying to like really save on taxes, maybe that's a thing to think about. Maybe it's something I would consider. Because it's a good amount. It's a good amount, so you can kind of avoid it. Maybe use that cash for something else, and still pretty much get you where you want to go. It's just the additional positioning play, right? Okay. Phil says, I paid the first year annual fee on my wife's A Barclays with my Hawaiian intro purchase. Take that, Barclays. What? Wait, you paid? How'd you pay the annual fee on a card with another card? How'd you do that? Yeah, I paid on my wife's AA Barclays with my Hawaiian intro, bro. Take that. How'd you, oh, not really? Okay. I was gonna say, what'd you do? Something special, like built or something? And what are you doing? Plastic. It's funny. Mike says, it's funny how everyone talked about how advanced and complicated SEATS.AERO was, but its basic functionality isn't really harder than any other tool, just less pretty, which is great. No banner ads. See, I didn't even see, like I never searched any of the other ones. Like I heard that, but I didn't really know, but I just always heard like Seats, and people showed me. I was like, this is, I mean, I don't know. It seems very easy to me. The website, I think the UI looks very nice. I don't know. Is there really ones that are better than this? I didn't know that. Seems to be fine. Fun says, yeah, on hotels, absolutely. Talked about that for sure. Mike says, seems like Japan meetup April 2026. It might happen, man. It might happen. You never know. Oh, April next year, Angel. So it should be pretty similar for that time frame. We were in March, so it's actually not that far off. So it should be pretty similar. So think about that. I don't know if that helps, but if you could save 1,000 in taxes, I mean, substantial, I think, for a little extra legwork, I think, depending on the currency you have. Mike says, my player two is unsure if she can go to Japan next spring, but I'm searching for two anyway, since it's not hard, at least with AA. Alaska to cancel just one ticket for sure. Yeah, absolutely. Definitely. Yeah. Even Air Canada is not bad with the cancellation. I think it was $100 to cancel the flight. If if I need be. Yeah, I'm still trying to figure out what I'm doing with that. I don't know. We'll see. Um Can points, yeah, be a compliment? I got a pro subscription, but I haven't used any pro features. Interesting. Not sure. My life are finding the hotel station a flight you want to book is like finding the part you want to get married to. You know, right? Then this is it. When you know it's right. When you know it's right, you know it's right. Yes, yes, yeah. It's actually that is a good point. You do get the same feelings. Like when that first ANA and that Park Hyatt came up, I felt it. I was like, "Ooh," I felt my heart. I was like, "Oh, I gotta jump on this. I gotta jump on this." And I just went fast. And there was a couple times where it was gone, and then a couple times it was there, So you're right. You're right about that. 100%. That's how I felt when I was booking. So that was part of my well, would I call it a mistake? I don't really think so. But I transferred the last of my 100K Amex points to Hilton to book 2 nights at the Palazzo Manfredi because that was like a bucket list one for many years. Um, and so uh, and so I decided to transfer them all. And I remember I was like, "Oh man, I need to book this," because I started seeing it getting sold out like in other dates. So I was like, "Damn, I gotta book this now." Sure enough, a couple days after I booked it, it was I got like the last rooms or something, like one of the last ones. It was like gone. I was like, "Damn," So I felt right in the moment. I was like, "I got the heart pump, and I got to do this now," and I did, and I booked it. But I didn't know I was going to have all of a sudden a bunch of more Hilton points, but it worked out. It worked out. But when I think. Mr. Potato, is the Wells Fargo autograph worth a 524 slot? 3x on travel for no annual fee. Um, I mean, if you're asking me at my current state, no, just because I'm still like trying to get as many cards with high welcome offers as possible. Like I'm just going absolutely ham with it, trying to get as many as those as possible. So like, and I'm in the zone of like I'm still holding out. I really would love to wait till 4 years so I can get a Sapphire Preferred or the Reserve 100K plus offer. That would be amazing. Um, so like since I'm at 424 now, I wouldn't. But if I was if I was low and I had already had a large sum of points, uh, and you can use some of those Wells Fargo partners, like the Virgin, or if you're gonna do some choices, cool. Then I would say yeah, but it's like it's hard for me to answer that now because I'm just so not about the multipliers at the moment. Even though I know the autograph like covers basically everything people want for no annual fee, like it's a really powerful card. Um, but I hear you on that. I don't know. What are you considering? What's your 524? What's the best use case for those points? What are you really thinking on like large scale on your setup, I would say. Um, yeah, but that's my idea. It's like if there's any other cards in the works for you in the next 6 months, year that you think can supplement some future travels, do that first, I would say. Or if you just don't care about any of the chase cards, then yeah, go ham, go for it. Go 25, 24. I fully expect that once I can make up these 4 years and get the new Sapphire Preferred or Reserve welcome offer, then again I'll go well over 524. That's all I'm waiting for right now. But even then, I'm still like maybe I don't care. I don't know. In the meantime, business cards though. So I don't know. Give me a little extra, but I would say no at the moment for me. Um, things. Oh god, yeah. Mike's gonna go without it. Make no mistake. Mike's a savage. All right, Mike. Mike will leave her in the lounge. That's how crazy he is. He's gonna leave his. He'll leave her at home with the kids, with the dog, and he'll be sipping mojitos on the flight. Okay, Mike doesn't play. When he wants, he's gonna get it. I'm just kidding. And so it helps. Okay, cool. How'd you book your Japan flight? How'd you book your Japan flight? Which mileage plan? So those specifically, the ANA business class was Air Canada. 75K each, so 150,000 Air Canada miles, which can be transferred from Amex, Chase, Capital One. And so 150 total. Technically, if you're going to do like two one ways, for you and a spouse, it's 150K total. And then yeah, Air Canada, and taxes and fees are like uh 200 Canadian, so like 150 USD, so about 300 cash, I would say. So not bad. My life on earth. Don't tell your wife that though, lol. Hey man, I'm gonna let her know now. Now I'm gonna tell her after I get off this. Joe, are you still live? I just went and played 2 games of pickleball. Listen. Some people get up and move around. Some people stay in one place and yeah. Look, we're two different people. Actually, mentioning that, I probably will go fairly soon. Um, yeah, 5:19. We'll probably go do something. So I will. So if in the last few minutes, if anybody's got anything else, we'll probably hang up our hats today. I think it was fun. And fun. I have 3 credit card offers going on now, along with 4 checking account offers. I gotta slow down a bit. Yeah, 3 is usually my limit. I recently had 3, and now I'm down to. Actually, no, I'm still on 3 technically with the AA card, but that'll be one. One purchase. So that's nothing. So yeah, 3 is usually when I'm like, oh no. I'm also trying. I'm thinking about being crazy. I have 4 Chase Ink cards right now, and they just sent me an email to get like another one, and I'm like, there's no shot, right? There's no shot I would get a 5th, right? But I'm thinking like maybe I can get another one. That might be cool. Mike says I fly domestic a lot, and finding points deals can be harder than international. Need to learn how to use seats for that. Oh yeah, oh yeah. I mean, I've been doing that. Just talking to people for sure. But I mean, honestly, like it's like Alaska and AA, like basically everywhere. Like it just seems to be so freaking powerful. Um, it's so freaking powerful. To those currencies to book anywhere in the United States. It seems like last stream we had somebody that we helped find a flight from. I don't know where was it, like DC or something. Oh no, it was Dallas to San Francisco, and we found like really cheap flight via American or Alaska. Yeah, it was like really really good. So yeah, I think Seats is good for that. And you can just search a million different ones, a million airports and stuff. I think it's kind of good for that. Um, oh, you're saying Seats for international? Yeah, yeah. I don't know. Just talk to Michael Wong. That's what I did. That's how I learned. that's I asked him. I was like, okay, if I want to get these done, and I watch videos. Like, I think the main difference, and also something that I've changed recently that I think a lot of people, I think, would benefit from, is I've changed my mind from like just accumulating points to what do I want to accomplish? Like I always had hotels that I dreamed of staying in, and that's why I optimized for certain cards for that, but never airlines until I started watching more. I was like, okay, Chase Okayama, here's how to do A&A the room. I really want that. Here's what I'm gonna do. And then I learned what routes they were. He has a perfect video on it. And then when they release and all those different things, which currencies get you there. He was talking about through Virgin. I just happen to have Air Canada and could book through there, but I digress. And I was learning about Eva. It's like, wow, the Eva airline looks really cool. I asked Michael Wong. He was like, okay, here are the routes. So I think that's all it is. Ask some of these knowledgeable people, watch these videos from these guys who have been doing it like forever, and just search those routes and just do it every day. And you just kind of get it kind of is akin to like real estate. Like when I first moved down here, I didn't know anything about the market. So I just would look at houses on Zillow constantly. I would just all areas. And then eventually you learn, here's the given price range for a given area. Here's like how close it is to other things and stuff like that. So that's kind of how I approached. I'm approaching that now. So it's pretty cool. So I think that's how I've been thinking about things. It's like find whatever you want to do. Where do you want to stay? What kind of crazy bucket list hotel? What kind of airline? And then just work backwards from there. I feel like it's kind of what I've done, and I feel like it's given me a lot of clarity. Insanely. Yeah, I don't know. I won't be able to speak. I hate it because like I have these things booked now, but I have to wait. Like within 12 months, it'll be an insane amount of stuff. But now I just have to do it. Just like actually do the trip. I have to wait all this time. So I hate it. So like you mentioned, Vincent says, you should do a video on your A&A booking with Aeroplan. You just showed everyone that it's still possible to snag a coveted redemption. And so I feel like I can't talk about it. I could do live stream because it's kind of like more flowy and fun. I'm just talking about what's happening, but I almost feel like I'd be a fraud, even though I have it booked because I didn't take the flight yet. I just feel like, okay, give me 12 months. Let me fly all these crazy things. Then I could talk in retrospect on how I did it. I just would feel like a fraud if I talked about it before doing it, even though it's booked. So I hear you. I don't know. I just wouldn't feel right unless I did it first. Unless it's on live stream, I guess. I don't know. But maybe it's a limiting belief I have. I'm not sure. I do think you have to do the thing though first before, unless you're just excited. I don't know. It's so many different things I'm thinking about. Texas Dog 2 Spot. Thanks for the great show. Thank you, Texas. Thanks for being here, sir. This is the weekend of live streams. I'll probably be live streaming next Friday instead. I think I like Fridays. I actually really like the Fridays versus the weekends. But I don't know. But appreciate you, Texas, for that 2 Spot, man. And Mike says, do you ever check Avianca when you find Air Canada? No. Basically, just because. So I would check a lot of other ones, but it's only because I only had the Air Canada miles. So I couldn't do anything else. Like I had to book it through Air Canada. But if I had any other transferable currencies like that, yeah, I would be thinking about it for sure. I would be, checking around, see what's cheaper and what have you. Thanks again, Texas Dog. Appreciate you, man. Angel said, I have all the inks. However, how do you get multiple? Did you apply with SSN or only or EIN only? I've only applied for via my SSN, my Social Security. So all 4 of them were all under my SSN. Only one of them was for a different business, and 2 of them repeat. I have 2 ink cashes and 2 ink unlimiteds. Basically, how do you get multiple? You just apply for it, and you can do the same business. You can do the same, all the same info. Actually, the last 3 have the exact same stats of everything. It's a little bit harder nowadays. They definitely limited more, but that's what I did last year for sure. Absolutely. Angel says Virgin is amazing to book ANA as well if you can find availability plus any transfer bonus. Yeah, that's why I'm like, some things I regret. Some things I regret where I don't have any transferable currencies that I can move to. I guess I could now with Virgin, but maybe not enough. It's probably what I'm going to do once we get closer. If I can't get those additional seats, I'll wait till like a month out, 2 weeks out, and then I'll have some more currencies at the time, transfer to Virgin, get that done. That seems to be the play as per Ian and Wong. So we'll see. But yeah, seems so. Yeah, those bonuses can be crazy. Kajona says, have you tried any Hilton vacation clubs in California, like San Francisco and San Diego? No. I've yet to be over there. I've yet to go to California. And so no, I haven't done any of those timeshare properties out there, unfortunately. One day though, maybe one day I could do it. 521 Taipei, Marriott Boundless, 3 free night for 3K spend plus 50,000 spend for 50K points for 6K spend. What do you think? Is that the current offer? Is the current offer 3 free nights and an additional 50 for? Is it really? This is the Boundless, right? Let me type it in. Marriott Boundless. Oh yeah, it is. Wow. Okay, hold up. Bam. And look at this. Rakuten came up extra 1.5x. So let's see. Marriott Boundless, 95 first year. 95 a year. 3 free nights. So these are 50K certs. You could top it up to 65K plus 50,000 bonus points. So that's pretty interesting. I mean, most people would probably tell you just wait until the 5 free nights come around. Some people might tell you that. It depends. Like if I was going to get this offer, I'd probably go and check a few different places that I know I'm going to be traveling to in the next year. And I would look and see how much the Marriotts are. I would see, okay, is these particular hotels, are they 50K or are they upwards to 65K? Because if that's true, if those hotels are max 65K, something like that, the hotels that you would go to in the next year, then I would say yes, cool, because that actually does 2 things. One, gives you the 3 free nights. Okay, you got 3 nights there. And if you have to top up, like if each one of them, like if it's 65K a night, let's just say for an example, you can use those 50 1,000, you can use 45 of those to top up 15K each one of those nights. And so you guarantee yourself 3 easy nights from one welcome offer. If the hotels that you're going to will be eligible, like upwards of 65K, I would say. If they're going to be over that and you're trying to stay at some Ritz and some St. Regis's and all that, then maybe, I don't know. Then maybe still, then you'd have to really supplement because the 50K. Most people would either tell you, in my example, what I just told you, or wait for the 5 free nights. A lot of people love that offer. And I don't actually even know when's the last time we had a Boundless that had just points, and like how much was that? Because I don't really even know, to be honest. So that would be interesting. That would be interesting if so. But that's my general thought on it. I would say it can be worth it only in that example. Otherwise, I don't know. Otherwise, I don't know. Maybe, I don't know if maybe go for another different currency. Maybe go for Hilton card or something, instead. But yeah, I don't know. I hope that helps as far as like strategy on it. That's what I would do. I would say if you're gonna go for it, it can be worth it in that case. But if you really like only want Marriott, like all in Marriott, then maybe you can get a different card that can transfer over to Marriott. Then I could see that definitely. John R. Anthony the Destroyer is killing it. No, just having fun. Just having fun while you guys are hanging out with me. That's all. Well, me and my lonesome. So thank you, John, for that. Anthony the Destroyer. Why is that the new name? I'm gonna need a new hat. I'm gonna need a new Destroyer hat. That's so funny. Okay. So thank you, John, for that. And I actually just saw a great comment. Fun says, "Here's my super chat," and did not wait. Yeah, he did not. You can't just say it, man. You got to be about it. You can't just say super chat. What the hell? That's discrediting everybody else. Can you jiggle your hair like Conan does? Have a good night. I love Conan, actually. Honestly, if I could live a life, I've said this to my wife, if I could live a life like Conan, I think I would be happy. Because he's like beloved. He has like no controversies, doesn't get into politics, doesn't get into any of those things, travels around the world and does funny things in other countries. Like, he's just killing it. Absolutely killing it. So I love Conan. Let me see here. Rewards Master, glad to be here. First live with Anthony. Thank you, Rewards Master, for being here. Go check out his channel for sure. How's YouTube treating you, man? Let me know. Even if you want to, need help with YouTube, whatever, let me know on Discord. Brooklyn Joe, I found. No, I'm not saying you need it. I'm just saying if you ever want to talk YouTube. Brooklyn Joe, I found a 13K point domestic client for 7,500 points on SEATS.AERO. Very nice. Yeah, you're just saying like you saw it 13K elsewhere, but then you went on Seats and found it cheaper. Yeah, that's the power of it. Absolutely. Fun says, I just tried giving you a super cheap super chat, but I'm on vacation in Mexico. It won't let me convert. Send me some pesos, man. What the hell? I'm just kidding. Don't send any of that. How does Conan do it anyway? Oh, I didn't even realize. Oh, here's my suit. I didn't even realize. How does he do it? Does he go like that? I actually don't remember from his show. He's just like, I don't know. Some people said I look like him actually. Yeah, let me see. Mike. There are a few scattered high cent per point Delta and United Award flights, especially from certain smaller airports with high cash rates. So that was another thing I did actually. It's a good point, Mike. I see this is my point earlier. I was like, you never know where these currencies are gonna go and come from. Like I had Air France, I had Delta One booked on from Air France just because I had no idea what else to do with those miles. And I had it booked from Charlotte to JFK to get on the flight for Italy, the Emirates. And I was like, wait a second, I have another destination that I'm going to go to pretty soon. Can I cancel that flight? Because they technically moved it by like 10 minutes. So, when they do that, you can kind of cancel with no charge. So I ended up saying, wait a second, how else could I get that done? That's Charlotte to JFK. And I checked Delta points. We had like Delta miles left over. I don't know, it was like 30K maybe. And I happened to have exactly like almost to a T the exact amount in my account. I said, screw it, cancel the Air France one, book the main cabin from Charlotte to JFK, got that covered, and then I used the Air France that I canceled for that to get home from technically it'll be Yeah, technically be like in Europe, somewhere in Europe. But I don't want to talk about it yet. So I was like, you just kind of, yeah, mix and match. And Delta has some great stuff on the East Coast. Great value for sure. Very cheap. John says, that's how I feel regarding talking about flights. I don't mind talking about the redemption, but that's it. But that's it until after the flight. That's how I'm feeling. Yeah, that's kind of how I'm feeling. I want to be able to say it's done. Say it's done. Last summer, I got business class Singapore Airlines 50K through Aeroplan from Frankfurt, Germany to JFK. Very nice, powerful. That's amazing. I mean, come on. That's also something I want to get done. That's actually a goal of mine as well. Do Singapore business. Might be worth to wait for the 5 free nights, but it might be worth it if you use all nights right away. Yeah, exactly. That's how I'm feeling. Meet up in Napa. Oh, that Daniel Braun stayed at a Hyatt. Was it an Alila in Napa Valley? Very nice place. I would like to stay there one day. See, show ANA Virgin search doesn't show Valley. If not, what airlines show ANA? So, so yeah. So, man, I was just talking to somebody. I think usually, what's the other one? I believe, Mike. Yes, Mike. I believe if you see ANA Business on the United portal and even Virgin Australia, oddly enough, then it's a high likelihood that it's also on Virgin Atlantic, but it won't show up on Seats. Actually, there's a whole BS podcast on that with Sean Lane and Sherwin. Go check that out. They talk about ANA first class, and that's one of the things they mentioned. So United and Virgin Australia he mentioned. So check out that video. They helped with that. And as Angel says, yes. Appreciate you, Taipei. I'll come to Taipei one day, man. I got to go see that 101. Okay. Mr. Potato, any caveats opening a business checking account with Amex for the 50K offer? Just got the offer in the mail. Not really. It's actually pretty easy. Just I know they have different offers right now. Like when I got it, it was 5,000 in new money. So you just transfer 5K, have it sit in there for 2 months. And then you have to do 5 qualifying transactions. I believe any ACH works. I also think using the debit card works, but I could be wrong. Double check that. But no real catches or caveats. No. Funnily enough, though, if you want to hear this, I did it under. I think I technically made it under the real estate business. But they asked me for. What did they ask me for? I did it under Social Security, not EIN. But they asked me for some kind of documentation, like proof or something. But I didn't have anything that like consisted of whatever they were asking for. So I literally took a picture of like a commission check that I got from a real estate transaction, and it went through no problem. I don't think that even matters, to be honest. Whatever you send in, it seems like, I don't know, maybe that actually was enough, but it wasn't what they were asking for, but it worked. So that's the only thing I will mention that came up that was odd with it. But no, it's pretty standard. I think it's like 10K now though, but pretty standard. And you can open multiple of them, which I would love to do again. I actually should open a new one before the Alaska stuff runs out. He could apply for Marriott if he wants to start the 1 year mark to change the Ritz card. True, yeah. If your goal is Ritz, man, you need to get on that faster. Get on the Boundless faster. Harold, question in regards to downgrading versus closing a credit card with an annual fee. Does the open credit line on the downgrade affect credit card companies approving you for new cards? So if we're talking about 2 different concepts, so one thing is, I guess, is it gonna? So I guess, I guess your whole point is, are you going to be, affected by applying for new cards from these credit card companies in the future? I mean, pretty much the short answer is no. I've canceled a lot, downgraded a lot. Both of them never really affected me. The only thing that people will tell you is that if you do that with Amex, American Express, then you have a higher likelihood of being put in pop-up jail. I could see some merit to that. I also know there's so many people that never did any of that and also are in pop-up jail. So it's like, who really knows? But as far as like canceling a ton, I've yet to hear of any banks, unless there's like some niche banks or like ones that I just haven't applied for yet. But I never really had an issue with any of them. Like I've canceled and downgraded a million cards in the last year. I got a Citi card, got a Barclays card, got two of them, got a Capital One card, got an Amex card, got Chase cards. So like I'd never been affected, and I canceled and downgraded a lot. So I don't no real effect, to be honest. I feel. Texas dog, you need a chubby sidekick. Hell yeah. We'll make that happen. Um, whereas it's good that it's hard, though. Otherwise, it'd be less availability than it already is for the awarded redemptions for sure. Would Kelby be Anthony's Jordan Schlansky? Oh my god. uh I don't know. Would he be? See, okay. When I do this whole Italy redemption, I used to watch Conan go to Italy with Jordan a decade ago, and it's finally come full circle. I never thought I would go to Italy, but now I'm like, oh, I'm going. This was 10 years ago when I was getting out of high school and stuff, so I didn't know about the points and miles game, any of that. So I used to watch it. So I want to go to the places that they went to. Like it's actually a real spot in my heart for that whole saga of Conan and Jordan going around. Uh, actually, we watch it to this day. We still watch it. My wife watches it. Yeah, Jordan Schlansky is hilarious. He's like, well, actually, the pimento comes from the ancient Greek. He's like, it's actually not Ralph Macchio, it's Ralph Macchio. Yeah, he's great. I have various tasks. I don't know who would be. I would love to say, yeah, in that relationship, I'm definitely Conan, because when I hang out with Calby, I say ridiculous stuff, and I'll make fun of him sometimes because he's just ridiculous. So yes, that's so funny. That's very funny. Conan, I love Triumph. Oh my goodness. No, I know fun. I know you. Listen, don't even think about it. Listen, spend your money at the all inclusive, baby. Have some fun. Enjoy it out there. Don't worry about me. Did somebody actually? Filmos says great live for me to poop. Great. I'm so glad we gave you entertainment while you're on the can. Amazing. Amazing, Phil. Thank you, sir. That means a lot to me. I'm basically no better than a newspaper. No better than a weekly magazine to a car thing. So thanks, Phil. Appreciate you, man. That's so funny. Yes, West Coast. We don't have enough repping on the YouTubes. You guys got a few though. What do you got? Max Miles, got JP Knowledge, got Stan the Credit Frog, Sebi. Actually, yeah, maybe. And you, are you out there? Mike, I didn't actually know that. Yeah, there's a few guys, I guess, but yeah, maybe more. Maybe we need more. Rodrigo, is CJ over credit card YouTube? Haven't seen a vid from him in a good minute. I mean, I'll let him decide if he is. I'll let him say it if if he comes back, if he's done with credit card YouTube. But I will just say he's very busy. He's switched jobs and he's going hard with it. He might be moving and stuff. So actually no, he did just move. Didn't he just move? Actually, I don't know. Timelines are all mixed up, but no, I don't think he's fully over it. But he has been around a little bit. But he's doing good. I talk to him actually like pretty much every day, actually. So he's good though. He's good. But isn't it crazy? We're starting to a lot less. Seems like more YouTubers, but also less YouTubers in the credit card niche recently. Tell those great value. United can give you some great redemptions if you use their miles. Vincent says Jesse's here. What's going on, Jesse? Thanks again on Filmo for that. Key can't stay. We'll watch the reply. Hey Anthony, what's going on, Key? How's everything? Appreciate you being here. And Mike says, I'm hesitating on upgrading the Boundless to the Ritz. Not sure if I could ever get the bonus on the Brilliant, and don't love Marriott. But now that I might keep my CSR with the changes, I don't need it as much. I hear you. Yeah. I mean, maybe that's a play for you. Maybe it's like, if it's CSR is getting better for you, and for some reason that can make up for, whatever the Ritz would give you in your mind, then yeah, I could see like holding off until then. But the Ritz is great. I don't know. It's a great card. I would love to have one right now. Like I know some Marriotts that I would love to use that 85K cert on right now, and top up. But yeah, it's one of those cards. And MDL Crespo, thoughts on Hilton devaluation? It's just gonna keep happening. It's just gonna keep happening. It seems like all of those island places, though. We had that Hermitage place, which I forget which island that's on. You got some Maldives places. I think Seychelles as well. Although didn't somebody say that I pronounced that wrong. Um, I don't know. Is it Seychelles? Yeah, all those Hiltons, are going up in price. I think it's the only thing that's interesting about it is that even though there's like no theoretical cap on the Hilton free night certificates, like it's just standard rooms. Um, usually it never got higher than 150K. So I guess technically now you'll be able to, um, you know, use a free night certificate up to like a 200K hotel, which some of them that are going up to. So I think that's kind of interesting. So technically, free nights maybe can be worth more. It depends if the cash kind of follows, but um, they could be pretty valuable. So it just it depends. I think they're always going to happen. That's why it's like book them. If you've got some Hilton points, go booking some stays, man. You could always cancel like a week prior, So, but at least if you have some like real high level places you want to go to, just get them done before you get any type of devaluations. I did that actually with Hyatt. I booked all my, well, ended up being not that many, but I booked all the Hyatts that I wanted to book before they were getting devalued in Italy before the devaluation. So I actually saved a good amount for sure. And Filmo, yes, that Umbreon saw that in the Discord. U.S. Bank triple cash 100 credit counts towards SEATS.AERO. So that's pretty cool. It's brilliant, definitely. I think so. I think for me, for sure. Oh, really? Different hood? That's interesting. Gotta do a meetup, man. Rodriguez says, you getting city cards anytime soon? I mean, I technically got the city AA card. Got the city AA one, so that's nice. And we'll see. If only I didn't if only I had lower 524, but it's all right. I got better cards anyway. But one day I'll get the city strat, I think. I think so. And then Jesse, I'll have to watch the replay for the mistakes. It was kind of like sprinkled in. Just know it's like basically wrap it all up. I should have got on Rakuten many years in the past. I've lost out on a ton of membership reward points, a ton of Amex points, and SEATS.AERO is a life changer. It has changed everything for me in the points and miles game, and that's why I wanted to share today. So we are now almost going on 3 hours. So didn't think it was going to be this long, but thank you all for keeping it lively, keeping it fun. Hopefully it was educational, fun, enjoyable in some way, even if you're just on the toilet like Filmo. And no, I appreciate you guys as always being here, to any degree, if you're just passing in, passing by, whatever. So thank you all. Also special shout out to Mr. John R for the 2 spot. Also John R for another 2 spot. And then MR for being a member. And then Texas Dog, Juan Garcia. Appreciate you, sir. Texas Dog again. And Phil will be on the toilet. So thank you all for the super chats today, the lively chats, the fun. So enjoy the rest of Sunday, and just keep killing it. All right, take care. Alejandro, take care. All right, see you guys, and have fun. All right.